This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And we're back today for our final, for now, countdown in the 22nd century. Yes, our final for now episode of Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. Alexis will be telling us our final tale of this crazy futuristic show based on a crazy old school show or novel, IP, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Short stories.
And shows, perhaps,
written
too.
word. Yes,
Yeah.
And it'll be our final episode for now. But again, we got holiday arcs where we can do any show, so I'm sure
we absolutely do.
Come back for that. And then next week we're moving on to another show of another era. It is going to blow y'all's mind that this.
It sure will.
I think a lot of you are going to know this show and remember, Fever Dream. Remember, I didn't know it was a thing.
No, it did come out before we were born, but there's been chances for us to still watch it since then.
Yes, apparently.
Yeah.
So
given
we'll
a lot
get into
of
that
hints
next week. Yes,
a lot of hints, none of which are actually helpful to figuring out.
Correct. That's
what we're talking about.
But I don't know. Guess in the comments below between now and next week.
Yeah.
And
maybe you'll be right.
And if you
maybe
don't,
think
then,
of the most obscure show that you could think of that came out before the year 1993.
That was still very popular.
That's
though,
all we got.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. With a very popular main character. We'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect.
They're going to be like Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, except that came out after we were born, but still, it's like, okay.
True.
Anyways.
Sure.
So.
But yes, we'll get to that next week, though. And for now, though, Alexis, it's her turn. So take it away for our final blast to the future.
Blast to the future, hovering
From
through
the
the
past.
streets of New London. Yeah. And yes, our last episode. I'm excited for it. I think you're going to like it. I think we're ending on a bang with this show because your episode last week was awesome. I really loved my episode the week before and the way that they adapted the old school IP, the old stories. We're going to do that again today. Cool. And the episode begins on a very dark and stormy night.
Perfect.
And the vibes on this night are also a bit gloomy. Now, this is because Lestrade happens to be on her own, out in the countryside, out in, the country of New England, maybe it's called New
There's already a New England.
United Kingdom. I know. Yeah, we don't know what's going on in America these days. Yeah, New UK, but she's out in the countryside at this very large mansion and estate, having a reunion of sorts with some old college friends of hers.
What?
Yes.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah, she's got some friends, turns out. She's not all work. She's just mostly work.
Okay.
No play, little play.
No.
So these friends are Alice and Edith. I don't know Alice's last name, but Edith's last name is Pressbury, and we'll get to that more in a moment.
Okay.
The three ladies were super, super close as young women when they were in school, but over time, their jobs and life and yada, yada, yada have kept them apart for a bit too long. So inside of this mansion on this dark, stormy night, we see Lestrade and Edith only. We don't see Alice yet.
Okay. Sorry, is Lestrade in uniform or is she wearing normal clothes?
She is in uniform. She's in uniform. I know, right? You wish. I told you, she's mostly always working. Sometimes she's not. Sometimes she can chill, but
she's
she doesn't have casual
so she
clothes.
has to take the uniform off. Yeah. It's the only time she's not working.
When she's showering and when she's in bed. She even sleeps in that uniform.
Yeah. She's got a nighttime wear for it.
Right.
Okay.
She just puts a nightgown on top of the uniform so that if something happens, she just lifts the nightgown off and she's ready to go. Yeah. Still even has her fucking combat boots on probably.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, the three ladies are all together, but right now we just see Lestrade and Edith. It's dark out, it's late at night, and so they're sitting by the fire, which is blazing in the study of this huge mansion, this estate. And the two are just musing over their old memories from the good old days back in college. For example, when Edith's father, who happens to be an esteemed, wealthy, and very like popular, well-loved college professor. I don't know if it's at the same school that they're at, but I think it's kind of implied, but they never really say. But we'll pretend that he teaches at the same school that they went to.
Okay.
And there was this one time where Lestrade remembers Professor Presbury sending a box of cookies and like some food down to the girls while they were practically starving, like living on college budgets. And she was like, that was like so nice of him. He's so kind. Like, man, how is your dad doing? Like, how's everybody doing?
Uh-huh.
And then the vibes shift. Like I said, it gets a little bit gloomier because we now learn the reason of this reunion.
Okay.
The ladies are all gathered together because Professor Jacob Presbury, Edith's dad, it's not the reason why you think it would be gloomy. No, he is not dead.
Okay. I was like,
away.
And this is how she's telling them? Okay. I was like, that's crazy.
The news is that he is getting married, actually.
Oh.
Which is a bit surprising. His wife, Edith's mom, passed away long ago, and Edith almost always promised that she'd be able to take care of him and all of that and look after him now that her mother, his wife, had passed away. And he's remarrying now, and it's a bit to the shock and surprise of Edith. And to the anger of Edith and to the uncomfort of Lestrade because it just so happens.
Is she
It just so happens that Professor Presbury is marrying Alice.
Okay. And you invited her to this weekend? Still?
Edith and Lestrade's old college bestie. So here's what the reunion is. It's not actually just them all hanging out, Grace. They're getting married tomorrow.
Oh, this is...
So they're here for the wedding.
This is fucking crazy.
I had to bury the lead because I wouldn't have gotten this sort of reaction from you if I didn't fill it up.
Alice is not a girl's girl.
No. And you know, Grace, now that you said that, she's not one of the girlies. I had to pause and figure out, like, do I really want to talk? Do I really want to cover this episode? This is really uncomfortable for so many reasons.
When did they start dating?
We'll get to that soon, or later in the episode. But it was a couple years ago. They've been together for a couple of years, maybe it seems.
Still, though, doesn't make it better.
At all, or great. It doesn't make it better, doesn't make it good, doesn't make it right. Weird. I know we've got two consenting adults here, but hell no. Never, ever, no, don't do this ever to your friend, to your daughter, for the men listening.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like this goes both ways. This is not just Alice's issue. This is also a huge red flag for Professor Presbury too.
Not even the professor situation, because even though they're out of school,
which is a whole thing that we'll get to later too. Exactly,
but also like,
it does.
What is that age gap?
Probably when they started dating too, I'll say. Yeah, I mean, we assume Lestrade is like
at least 30 years.
Low 30s, high 20s maybe, and Professor Presbury, I think, is like 60-ish.
Yeah, that's 30 years gap.
There's like a 30-year age gap, probably, at least. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, a lot of... Don't love it. So yeah, all of these things that we're saying here right now made me pause after watching the episode the first time. Like, maybe I won't do this episode, but it is a good episode. And like, we'll just get all of this ick out of the way now.
Yeah, big ick.
Like, obviously it comes up throughout the episode, but like, we hate it. We hate it. We hate it. It's gross. Yuck. Ick. Don't do this if you're, anyways, ick, yuck. But it does relate to the mystery as well, so we'll get to it.
This is the biggest mystery. What the fuck's going on?
Right, what the fuck?
What are the two of you thinking is the mystery of this episode?
Yeah, that is. And that's it. You don't even need Sherlock out here. You can't get to this. He has terrible interpersonal skills. He won't be able to figure this out.
No.
Lestrade, you're on your own here, girl. You on your own, girlfriend.
He'd probably be able to break them up because he'd be like, what's the point of a relationship? And this. So he'd be a big Debbie. He'd ruin the vibe.
He could definitely drive a wedge. Yeah.
Yeah, it could help.
Yeah. So all that ick behind us now, and now understanding why the vibes are low, the aura is a little gloomy here. Things just are tense. Like, even though Lestrade and Edith are like happy to be getting back together, Edith is obviously very upset and just like not feeling very friendly right now.
Yes,
so we learn that Lestrade and Edith, they are downstairs, obviously in the study talking about this. And then we soon see that Alice is actually, she's in the house too. It's just that she's upstairs,
No,
fast asleep
no, no, she's
in
not.
the primary
No,
suite,
no,
in the main bedroom.
no,
Yep.
no,
Yep,
she's
yep,
not.
yep, 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 yep. And Edith is down there saying, like, why does she get to sleep her little head nice and restfully up there and all of that? And I'm like, ew, yeah,
Burn the
that's
mansion
even
down, I guess.
worse.
That's the
I
only
know, I'm
solution.
sorry. Yeah, we still have the X. Sorry, we didn't get it all out yet. We're
No,
gonna
it's
keep
going to be this
icking
whole episode.
this whole episode.
Sorry about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
So
the mystery of the ick.
the
Sherlock Holmes.
adventure of the egg,
Mystery of
the adventure of the egg. So Edith, yeah, she's obviously very rattled by all of this, the whole relationship and the idea that her once best friend, I don't think they're quite best friends anymore,
No.
like that she's about to now become her stepmother.
Oh my God. Imagine if one of
Sorry, I
your
know.
friends was suddenly your step. As you
Dude,
started
well,
saying that,
see,
I thought the same thought.
and
I was
Grace,
like,
that's why this whole episode I was thinking, like, okay, imagine if this was like me and Grace. Hell
great.
no. Which I know
One
it's
of
like even
our
grosser to
friends
think about it.
becoming my
Yeah.
stepmom.
No, absolutely not. Well,
Fucking
first of all, we're not
crazy.
friends anymore, so I guess
Yeah.
that part's
First and
figured out.
foremost, because that's not an
Yeah, yeah, that's
issue.
done with that.
Crazy.
So yeah,
Crazy.
let's not even think about it. Although we're about to think about it a lot more because it obviously is the
Whole
main plot of this episode. So we'll think about it for about another hour here, and then we'll be done. So yeah, Edith is pretty pissed that in just a few days, this whole relationship dynamic between her and her former best friend is about to change. And at this point, Grace, will lighten up the mood a little bit here now. Edith is convinced and tells Lestrade that this must be all about Alice just trying to get to Edith's inheritance, baby.
Yes.
It kind of lightens the mood, but it still just doesn't hit the same.
And
Inheritances
also,
and wills don't hit the same when it's under these circumstances.
I'm glad they're in the room with us. I'm glad there's
Yeah.
something familiar that we can
Yeah.
fall back on and
We can
comfort.
hold on. It's like
It's like
our,
a security
exactly,
blanket
it's like,
for us in this episode.
our security trope. Our security trope. Hold
I'm
on
just
tight
gonna
to that inheritance.
nestle it tightly and get those
Yeah.
paper cuts, and it's worth it.
Exactly. Something that we are comfortable with. We
I
don't
feel
mind
safe.
existing in this space. Exactly.
Yes. Okay. It's
Well, all of
grounding.
this other chaos and
Grounding
ickiness is
us.
going on outside of this comfort zone.
Also, like, girl, did you need help with money? Just ask me. I'm your friend.
I know, right? Yeah.
Like, what do you need? What's going on? You don't have
Exactly.
to
Like you don't have to marry my
dad.
dad to get to my inheritance. And also like
this.
the point.
Also, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
come
girl?
on.
You don't
Yeah.
even have my
It's
inheritance?
like, wait, whoa. Messed up.
Also, the fuck?
Yeah. So
Anyways, there's so
right.
many problems.
It just gets worse and worse. Yeah. Now again, this is all
I know you're like a paragraph in. I'm so sorry. I'm so
I know
bad.
this episode's going to take a lot longer than I thought it would because it's a lot to process. Typing it out was one thing, but now that we're talking about it and saying it out loud, I'm like, oh God, I have to pause after literally every other
Crazier than we
sentence
ever
and just
thought.
like decompress. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is all speculation from Edith, though. She's just trying to get to the bottom of it because she's like, I can't fathom any other reason why a very young, attractive woman of my own age, who is one of my best friends, is now doing this. We'll leave it at that. So,
Yes.
yeah, Lestrade is listening and she's taking this all in, obviously. And she's still trying to play mediator, because she's still friends with Alice. I guess she's learning all of this now too, right? Like
I mean, you learned that they were engaged.
yeah, like, listen, she's trying to be fair.
Be
Lestrade doesn't have any friends, okay? She has to keep,
She's
she doesn't have any.
desperate.
She's got to keep these two. This is all she's got other than Watson and Holmes and her boss, Chief Grayson, okay? So, like, she's got to figure out how she can keep this intact however she can.
Yeah.
So rather than like straight up accusing Alice of any wrongdoing or bad intent, because she hasn't like heard from Alice about any of this yet,
Yeah.
she tells Edith that, like, okay, well, let's not, throw stones, but I will say I am so surprised that Alice never ended up with Trevor, which is
Okay, Trevor.
again, call back to last week why I was so confused, who happened to be an old classmate and friend of theirs who now also works with the professor at the college and is like a personal assistant to him. So I think he does like
Okay.
research assistants and he's like he helps him at home and like doing research at the house because he's just
Okay.
always kind of hanging out around the estate basically, like he's just always
Okay.
around, so he's kind of like a bonus brother in a way, I guess, maybe. But
Okay.
yeah, so Lestrande's like, that's crazy. Trevor was so crazy about Alice. Like, why didn't those two ever end up together? And Edith just kind of scoffs it off and tells Lestrade that Trevor could never provide the same sort of financial security that my father could. And so she's
Mm.
basically claiming that Alice is just a gold
Gold
digger. Like she
digger.
obviously would never, yeah, want to be with someone like Trevor,
Okay.
especially also after the fire. Dot, dot,
Uh,
dot. We'll get to that later. So just put that
no,
pen,
later.
diesel. Yeah.
Arson was the other comfort I was going to hang on to. No, take it
Well,
away
that's
from
good. You
me.
can keep
Keep
hanging
it.
on to it. Yeah, you can hang on to it for
Okay.
basically the rest of the
I'll
episode.
focus on that. I'll focus on that. I'll focus on that. Okay.
Yes. Nonetheless, Edith tells Lestrade that things around the Pressbury estate have been kind of weird lately, other than all that
That.
happening with the marriage and all of it, right? Particularly, she claims that her father has been acting out of character. Again, not just because he's marrying his daughter's best friend.
Okay.
That's a whole other thing. Just like generally in the sense that he seems a lot more short-tempered and aggressive.
Mm.
And he's been having these recurring bits of like animalistic rage almost. And he's been going missing for hours at a time, which is all just very unlike him. Remember, like I said before, Lestrade was remembering old times with the professor,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh
he
my
was so
God, he's so
sweet.
gentle and he's so kind. Yeah, you're so sweet. That's so strange.
I mean, this is
Well,
all just a
like,
midlife crisis. Like,
very clearly,
all
just I
this.
guarantee you there's a brand new shining red hover car in that
Oh,
garage.
absolutely. Yeah, this is
He's
is just having
probably
a
been hitting the
huge midlife
gym
crisis.
lately, right? He's
Yeah.
buff out of nowhere, this nice old 61-year-old
Yeah,
buff
that's where he's
dude. He's
off
got
to
a
when he's
brand
missing
new,
for hours
exactly,
at the
exactly.
gym.
He says he's golfing, but
Okay.
nah, no, no. He's just
Mm,
driving that hover car through the countryside and then going to lift. Yeah.
God, okay.
So before Lestrade can really get any further information from Alice, though, about like the shift in his personality, from Edith about the shift in her dad's personality, they hear Alice like blood curdling screams coming from upstairs.
Edith is
So
like, I didn't hear anything.
I was just gonna say, even though Edith hates her, the
What screams
two
Lestrade? You're imagining
run.
it.
I heard nothing. That storm outside is so loud. You're probably just hearing
Oh,
thunder and like a branch against
you
the
work too hard. You
glass
need to take a little
window.
nap.
Yeah.
You're overworked,
Yeah.
Lestrade.
Here, let me give you something to calm your nerves a little bit. You
There's
seem
whiskey
tense.
right in the
Yeah.
tea because that tea
All into
is
that
being
tea.
spilled right
Yeah,
now.
it is whiskey. There is no tea. So no, they do run upstairs to check on their friend and see what the heck is going on, but the door is locked. Now, thankfully, that gentleman, Trevor, who we talked about earlier, like I said, he's just always around the house because he's Professor Presbury's like research and personal
Yeah.
assistant. So thankfully, he was at the house too when he also heard these screams. And he runs up to the room to help, asking Lestrade and Edith, like, what the hell is going on? What was that screaming? And also, thankfully, in this moment, we learn, just like in your last episode,
Uh-oh.
Grace, they know the company they keep, Grace. Trevor, not only is he an absolute hunk, I
Duh.
mean absolute hottie, like prime Chris Evans talking, like maybe
Okay. And they're
he
like,
like he's
Alice, honey,
honey,
this you passed
Trevor, look
up?
at this man. But we learn he's a hunk at the same time that we learn he is also a cyborg.
No. Now, hold on. Back up.
He has a metal arm. His right arm is made out of metal.
Okay.
And he's got just like a metal plate covering half of his face. Very Phantom of the Opera of the
To
22nd
Oh my God, so
century-esque,
even
if you
hotter.
will.
Mysterious?
Exactly, which is why I'm like, no, hold on. His cyborgness does not make him less of a hunk because he's
Okay, yeah.
very mysterious and he seems just like sad boy. He's got sad boy vibes.
We can fix
And
him.
exactly,
Alice, you could have fixed
give
him.
me some WD-40 and a wrench and I will fix that arm all day. Come
I can,
on.
we can fix
We
him,
can
honey.
literally fix him.
Alice
But
Gurley.
I do assume that there is metal covering some other areas of this man too that we can't see under the fit
Okay, well, we
and
know
all
what
the
the technology
muscles and
is. We
everything.
don't know the
Dude's
technology in the 22nd
jacked. I mean,
century.
exactly. You don't
Girl.
know. And sometimes relationships are about more than what's down there.
What's in your
Sometimes,
pants?
kind of,
Alice,
So if he's
girl.
fun to talk to and you guys share some hobbies and he's not your best friend's father,
And 30
maybe
years
you
older
should
than
give it a
you and acting
chance.
erratically,
Exactly.
acting like an animalistically angry, disappearing for
Yeah.
hours on end. There's a lot Trevor has
Out.
going on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay,
Like he has
and
a lot to
now,
offer if
has
you
he always
look a
been?
little bit deeper than the metal plate on his face.
Yeah, look past the metal. Now, has he
Hmm.
always been a cyborg?
We'll get to that later.
Okay,
But no, he
interesting.
is not. No, I'll
Okay,
just answer now. He is not, but I'll explain. We do learn about
okay,
why he is a cyborg
okay,
eventually.
cool.
So
God, so
all these
mysterious.
things will come together in classic Sherlock Holmes
Okay.
fashion. So I think also this is the first time Lestrade is meeting Trevor, and like she doesn't at all seem shocked that he's no, it's not. No, that's right, because she knew him in
So to
college.
school,
But
yeah.
so yeah, and like she's not shocked when she sees him that
Yes,
he's
okay.
half a cyborg and doesn't ask any questions about it. Only Sherlock does later, which I said we'll
Okay.
get to. So it seems to me like this is a normal thing now. Everyone is
I
familiar
can't
with Trevor the
imagine.
cyborg, the hunky cyborg from
I can't
that works for
imagine
Professor
Sherlock does it
Frisbury.
nicely. Like, I can't imagine he's kind about.
It's like you pre-read my script. We'll get there, obviously,
I'm
but
just
like, yeah,
cringing
you know,
for the future. Okay.
that is also part of the ick, how
Yeah.
Sherlock addresses these very like sensitive personal matters because he
Yes.
has literally no interpersonal skills
Yep. Yep. Yep.
whatsoever.
Yep.
So yeah, Trevor with his robot arm or his cyborg arm is able to just bust through this door and break it open. And he rushes in to comfort Alice and see what's wrong and make sure everything's okay.
Hmm.
And as he runs in there, and obviously Edith and Lestrade are right behind him, we just see Alice like leaning out of an open window. When again, it's like fully storming outside. So it's raining, there's thunder, there's lightning, it's very
Uh-huh.
windy, but she's leaning out like from the waist down, almost like she's reaching out for something or someone who's out
Okay.
there. So Trevor runs up and grabs her and pulls her back away from the window and like holds her closer into his body. Like, are you okay? What the hell? Like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing?
Hmm.
And Alice very calmly, like she's totally fine now, calm state of mind, just says, it's nothing. I thought I saw something or someone outside of the window. And then she just like looks back at Trevor and says, like, you can let go of me now, Trevor. And she kind of just like shoves him or pushes him off. So I was like, whoa. Yikes, there's something going on there because he
Uh,
like grabbed her and held her and he just was holding her like, are you all
uh,
right? Is everything okay, Alice? She's like,
oh.
I'm fine.
Oh.
You
Mm.
can let go of me. It's like, oh, you can literally cut through that tension with a
Oh, I'm
knife,
sitting there
man. That
trying to
is
find my teacup again, trying to feeling around for.
pouring whiskey in it. Like,
Oh, what is
anybody have
this
any
now?
popcorn too, by
Oh yeah,
chance?
put that in the
Yeah.
microwave.
Mm.
Okay. Whew.
So Lestrade asks for a few more details from Alice here. Like, you saw something out there. Like, what was it? What did it look like? And
Yeah.
Alice says that it looked like a gorilla or something, a gorilla of some sort. But the gorilla had Jacob, her fiance's face, aka Edith's dad's face.
Yeah. Okay.
Strange, right? So the rest
Yeah.
of them are like, you're probably just having like
Stress
pre-wedding jitters.
dreams.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not sleeping well, you're stressed, because they like look out the window again and they notice they're 3 stories up of this very large
Uh-oh.
mansion,
Okay.
and it's storming outside again. For like the 50th time here, just to set the scene. It's very
It's
unlikely,
bad.
first, that a gorilla would be here, but right, also
Yes.
that like a gorilla could climb this high up in these conditions and then would just like stare at you through the window. Like,
And
no, no, no,
then drop
something,
away. No
you need
one
to
can
get
see
some
it.
rest.
Yeah.
Right, right. And then just run away when you open the window. That instead of coming in, what? Huh? No.
Okay.
So Alice shakes this all off too, like, yeah, you're right. I'm stressed, man. This wedding, it's getting to me. It's life has been crazy lately with the professor just being strange. You're right. I need some rest. And Lestrade says, in any event, because you are stressed and because this is a special day for you, you ick, let me call someone out here to also take a look at some things and then, give you a bit more peace of mind. And if there is something wrong that way, we'll at least know and he'll definitely get to the bottom of it.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, this is Sherlock Holmes she's
Yeah.
talking about. So we then go and see what Sherlock and Watson are up to, who they're actually out in New London still, like just investigating random stuff for Scotland Yard as per usual. And they press pause on their current investigation so they can go help Lestrade.
Okay.
But for what it's worth, I will say they're investigating a string of break-ins that have been occurring over the last few weeks at a monkey shelter, actually. They go back and forth between calling it a monkey shelter and a primate lab, which is concerning. I wish they would have just stuck on shelter, maybe.
Yeah,
That seems
shelter's
a
a
little
lot
more.
nicer.
Yeah,
Lab's
yeah.
a lot worse.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we
Okie
learned it is
dokie.
like a facility where they take rare and endangered monkeys or primates and like take care of them and like rehabilitate them and try to mate them
Okay.
with other of the same species, et cetera, so that they can
Okay.
populate, repopulate, reproduce, et cetera. So like
Okay.
it seems like they're on the right side of history, but there's definitely a lot of laboratory vibes in here as well. Like all the
Yeah.
workers are wearing lab coats
Oh,
and
which we
there's
just
definitely
don't
experiments
love.
going on somewhere.
Yeah,
So
on
we
the
don't love
side.
it, but
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
So apparently 3 extremely rare monkeys have been stolen from that shelter over the past few weeks.
Okay.
And as it turns out, though, like thankfully Watson and Holmes needed to make a quick exit out of the shelter anyway when Lestrade called them, because Watson was having some mechanical issues with like his arm and everything, and it was creating this loud, high-pitched electrical noise that was just sending the monkeys into a
Freaking him out.
fit. Yeah, they were just like hooting and hollering behind their cages, which you don't love to see, but still.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, it's getting crazy in here. Like we've scoped out the joint.
We're making
We've
it
gotten
worse.
information from you, your scientists / animal trainers, whatever. We'll get back to you when we find some stuff. And they get out of there. They take the call from Lestrade, and then they're like, all right, we're on our way out to the countryside now. Then never mind.
Yeah.
So they meet up with Lestrade at the Pressbury estate, and she gives them the rundown on everything. They meet Alice, they meet Edith, etc. They get the primary details of why they're there. And at first, everything is going okay in the investigation. Sherlock, he's searching around the house a little bit. He goes up to Alice's room, and searches there and looks at the windowsill and everything and just takes a look around. And like I said, things are going fine. But then things pretty quickly take a turn when the professor returns home.
Okay.
And sees like a full-on investigation going down in his bedroom. Like, like Lestrade is there, Holmes is there, Watson is there,
Badges
Edith, Alice, Trevor, like exactly everyone is there. Actually, Trevor's not there, but like everyone is all up in there in his room. Like imagine coming home
including
and there's
two
just
strangers.
like detectives and like in your bedroom, just like looking all over the place. So he obviously is not super happy about this. He walks in, he does give Alice a quick hug and says hello to her. And then he introduces himself to Sherlock and Watson. And I think Alice or Edith is like, yes, they're friends of Beth and they're here to take a look at like what all happened last night. And Sherlock, as I've said again, not having the best interpersonal skills, very quickly jumps into interrogation mode after he's introduced to the professor. And he's just like, hey, I was searching around in here and I found some of your hair on the windowsill outside of the window. Any explanation why, or you don't want to tell me why I found this here?
Here's the thing. Go for it, Sherlock. Fuck this guy.
Right, you
Fuck is
know?
he marrying this girl for? Yeah, let him have it.
Go ahead. Hammer him with questions.
Yeah,
No
I don't
mercy.
give a
Don't even
shit.
give him time to think about an answer. Ask him
Yeah,
another one the second he opens up his
rapid
mouth to
fire.
answer the first one.
Yes,
Exactly. Inundate this man with questions. Drown him
yes.
in an interrogation.
Hmm.
So, a good point. Because at this point, I was like, what the fuck, Sherlock? Ease off. Like, similarly to what the professor says here, like it's his bedroom. Yes, you're gonna find hair in places.
Yeah,
Like if the window was open, maybe hair blew out or
flew
something
out.
and was just
Yeah,
there, whatever. And also, you're in my house, buddy. What do you do? Like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Like,
Where's your warrant?
I'm worried about my wife, like, or my fiance. Trevor told me that she had a crazy nightmare or she
Yeah,
saw something or something happened last night. And so I'm already scared for her. And then you accuse me of having something to do with it when you're in my room and find
yeah.
evidence
My
of
damn
my DNA
house.
in my house.
Yes.
Like, okay. But no, you're right. I agree with you. Don't give this man any time to
Don't
breathe.
give him a break.
Interrogate the fuck out of this dude. So the professor, he like walks over to a nearby vanity. He picks up a brush and starts just like pulling hair out of it and hands it to Sherlock, basically like,
Mm,
here, look, more of my hair. Like
mm.
either you found it, like I said before, because you're in my room, or someone could have easily just plucked it out of something and
Got
put
it a
it out
bunch.
there. I don't
Yeah,
freaking know. Yeah. So Edith is like, Dad, chill. Like, come on, these are our guests. And he's just trying to help you and Alice get to the bottom of this.
yeah.
But Alice cuts her off like, well, I don't know, Edith. You did just cut your dad's hair yesterday, didn't you? You could have easily taken some of that hair and
What?
placed it out there. Right? Like everyone is just going, everyone's
Alice.
throwing accusations at everyone. Nobody trusts anyone. All these three, the girls are fighting. Like the actual girls in this case are
Uh,
fighting.
I
They're
gotta say,
like high school all over again,
this
but
is
actually way worse
beyond.
because this never
This is
would happen in high
beyond.
school. Yeah, this is crazy.
Okay. Okay.
So Alice leans in with these accusations again because she knows that Edith is so against this relationship, obviously, that
Yeah.
Alice has with the professor, obviously and understandably. And Alice has reason because of that to believe that Edith is
And
using
like
this
sabotaging
whole
it.
monster, exactly, monster outside of your window, whatever. The professor going, like not being in his right state of mind, all of that. She's using all of this as a means to frighten Alice away and to get
Mm,
her to not marry the professor.
got it.
So
Okay.
Lestrade hops in again, playing mediator, trying to keep the friend group alive, trying
Girl,
trying to good
it's
Lord.
been 6 feet under for a while.
At least 2 years, or at least
Girl.
however long they've been dating.
Girl, okay.
But she tries to calm everything down
Okay.
here, and she tells everyone that, like, listen, let's just take a deep breath. Let's take a break.
Mhm.
This has been obviously a very tense encounter. Let's go downstairs and have some tea, okay? And let's just
Okay.
have some quiet time. We'll settle down, and then we'll reconvene this in a few minutes. And they all do that. They go back down to the study. They're, all kind of like sequestered in their own areas where
Mhm.
we have like Alice and the professor sitting on some chairs at one side. Trevor is with Watson and Holmes standing by the fireplace. And then we've just
Mhm.
got Edith and Lestrade kind of standing off elsewhere talking. So everyone's just kind of recomposing themselves,
Okay.
having some nice relaxing tea. And this
Mhm.
now gives Trevor a chance to introduce himself to Sherlock and Watson.
Okay.
And those three are talking, and Trevor tells the detectives that, like, yeah, he agrees that the professor's behavior lately is new and unlike him. And coming from him, that means a lot because he obviously works very closely
Yeah,
with the
knows him.
professor. So he sees him all the time at work and at
Yeah.
home. And he knows like his usual mood swings or like what stasis is for the
Yeah.
professor. And he's like, this is not
This ain't
it.
it.
Exactly. But he tells Holmes and Watson that it's only been going on now for like the past few weeks, maybe like 3 weeks or so, that he's been acting
Okay.
this way. And he thinks that it's because of all of the stress that they're under due to their current research.
Oh,
And so
okay.
Trevor tells the men that he and the professor are on the verge of making a breakthrough in the study of the adrenal gland, which
Mhm. I've heard of
Wikipedia
that. I don't know
Yeah,
what
it's
it
like I've
is.
heard of it before. Wikipedia one line explanation. Basically, the adrenal glands are glands that are like found just above our kidneys that produce a lot of hormones like adrenaline and steroids like cortisol.
Okay.
And they secrete those hormones and steroids directly into our bloodstream, basically, and
Oh,
contribute a lot to
okay.
homeostasis.
Got it.
Basically, but with adrenaline and cortisol, so it can like raise like your energy level when things go
Or
wrong with those
adjusted.
glands, it could have an impact on your energy level or like your adrenaline
Okay.
level, your cortisol, your happiness, all of that stuff. So
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
So they are important glands. And so it sounds like
Yes.
this research is very important and cutting edge, and they're about to make a
Uh-huh.
massive breakthrough here. And so between those working hours and all of the wedding planning and everything, it just seems like the professor has been under a lot more stress than usual.
Hmm.
So Trevor then shows Sherlock a poking stick sitting near the fireplace, and he holds it up to him. And we see that it's actually not a stick. It's actually been bent in like a boomerang at this point,
Oh,
like a metal poking rod. Yeah, that you like use to kindle
yeah.
a
Like we're like
fire or
stoke a
to like
fire.
kindle a
Yeah.
fire. Yeah. So Trevor is like, yeah, you see this? The professor did this a few days ago just because the chef overcooked his steak. So, so imagine like what else, like what kind of shift could happen to create that? Like why would he do such a thing? So Sherlock looks over to the other side of the study where the professor and Alice are just cozily laughing and they're talking among
Uh-huh.
themselves. And the professor at this point seems like he couldn't be happier or calmer. Like he looks like Santa Claus almost, which I didn't describe him. He's
Oh,
older,
okay.
obviously, and he's not fat, but he's big, which I like actually, which is
Okay.
why I said he's been hitting the gym lately, man. That's what the
Right. He's
secret life is.
bulky.
Like
Bulked out.
he's thick. Like he looks like he could beat the crap. He actually does kind of look like gorilla shaped, for lack of
Oh,
a better
yeah. That
term, where
like,
he's just
yeah,
like thick on
bulky.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got like a white mustache and he's bald on top, but white hair on the sides and just very bright blue eyes. And so
Okay.
he just looks so jolly and happy. Him and
Not like a
Alice are
guy who could
talking
bend
and laughing.
metal
A
in
metal
half.
rod just
Yeah.
because
Okay.
his steak was overcooked. No,
Yes.
no.
Okay.
I mean, well, maybe size wise, but not temperament wise
But
right
temporal.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he looks very happy. And so this obviously indicates that the attitude and emotional swings have to be unraveling very quickly or happening like very
Like a
rapidly.
flash.
It's almost like
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So we then see a housekeeper who I think is a robot. Pretty sure everyone else in
Hmm.
this episode is just a robot floating around the house.
Okay.
Dude must be loaded. But it approaches the men with a platter of tea, and Sherlock and Watson help themselves to a cup each. And then Trevor takes a couple of other cups off of the platter and excuses himself as he then walks those cups over to the professor and Alice to refresh their tea.
Okay.
So after Trevor walks away, Watson tells Holmes that it's interesting that the professor's strange behavior seemed to begin around the exact same time that those break-ins at that monkey shelter in New London began, three
Okay.
weeks
We
ago.
did see an ape question mark earlier.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Which Holmes obviously has already clocked.
Yeah.
Like, yep, you're right. Don't mention anything about that, though, Watson.
Yeah.
And the professor and Alice then walk over to Holmes and Watson. And the professor kind of like apologizes for the whole rude behavior earlier when
Yeah.
they first met. And he says basically, like, listen, you're a friend of Beth's, therefore you're a friend of Alice's, therefore you guys are welcome to stay for the wedding.
Okay.
Just don't meddle in my personal life. Like, don't try to like go getting all involved in my personal affairs or else you
Okay.
will regret it. Like, I'm welcoming you into my home and to my wedding, but
Yeah.
stop prying
Don't
for
fuck up.
information. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And at that point, he looks and he sees the like boomerang shaped poking
Yeah.
stick. The professor picks it up out of the container, unbends it, and then just like drops it back in the freaking container. And before he can even look at Holmes or whatever, or like let him respond, he just walks off with Alice in hand,
Uh,
basically like,
so that was a threat,
yeah,
right?
literally. Literally, it was.
Okay.
And like the way he does it, he like pins it right in front of Holmes,
And then
puts it
chucks
away,
it.
and then just walks off. Yeah. Doesn't give him any time to respond or even
Okay, this is a
like,
threat. Yep, you have been threatened. The
yeah, he's
message
like, this is what's
received.
going to happen to you if you get
Right,
involved in
if
my
you keep
personal business.
meddling. Okay,
Mhm.
noted. Got it.
Yep. So he walks off, and the three investigators agree that something strange is definitely going on here.
Yeah.
And they immediately, like, Sherlock literally says the word, start meddling.
He's like,
Like,
oh,
as
you heard
soon
the
as the
man.
professor's
Let's get
gone,
on
they're like,
it.
all right, let's meddle.
As soon as you
So
tell
Lestrade,
Sherlock not
yeah.
to meddle, again, like every like alarm goes off in his head and he goes, what's that name? Time to meddle.
Oh, you said don't meddle, aka meddle.
Meddle.
Done. I'm meddling. Let's
Right
go.
here, right now.
He hates authority so much. You tell him not to do anything,
He's gonna do
he's
it.
gonna do it. Yep. So they split up, and Lestrade and Watson go to just hang around the people, the human folk, and observe their interactions and kind of take note of anything unusual or untoward, anything that they say about the others, or what kind of like personal clues they might be
getting the
able to
hot
glean
goss.
off of them. Exactly. And Sherlock doesn't know anything about that. He's like, I don't know how people talk with each other, so you guys go take care of that. And I'm going to actually like find
Obviously
clues on the
robots.
grounds. Yeah. The robots know how to like interpret people.
Yes.
Let them do that.
They
Yeah.
got it.
So Holmes goes outside and he starts to investigate the area underneath Alice's window where the intruder, if there was one, must have spent some time if he was able to be seen outside of her window that night before.
Right.
And Holmes, he's looking up at the window and like looking at the ground, and he notices like this would be really, really hard to climb. Like there's a lot of ivy here that would be hard to pull on. Like something that heavy as a gorilla could not hold on to ivy to climb its way up to a rooftop. And there's a lot of like thick shrubbery and I think he calls it bramble, which are like bushes where berries are growing on of a certain type, but like it's kind of thorny too.
Yeah,
so like you're stepping through that and all that, and you're gonna land on that when you fall. Like, I don't know. And there's no imprints of footprints or any sort of like human contact there. Now, although it was raining the night before too, so Sherlock is like, well, any footprints would have been washed away. Exactly. But he takes a few steps deeper into the backyard, and then he notices a cellar, actually, like a backyard cellar.
Okay.
Which, not super mysterious or whatever. Yeah, not super crazy. But he gets closer and he sees that there are muddy footsteps leading down the stairs towards that cellar. Which now that is very suspicious.
Yes.
And he literally says the game is afoot.
Hell yeah.
Quite literally in this moment.
Quite literally afoot.
Quite literally afoot. So he goes down into the cellar, and at first he doesn't see much because there's no lights on down there and it's just very dark. And it's just a bunch of emptiness, just brick walls and very damp and nothing really to see. But he knows there's got to be something down here. So he starts just like pushing against some of the walls, and he goes to the wall at the back. And yes, just like in an episode of Scooby-Doo, when he pushes on the back wall, it just kind of sinks back and reveals a secret doorway behind it.
Okay.
So he goes through this doorway, and he then sees like a lab or like research area with, like a few computers in there and mostly just one big work table in the middle of it with a light on.
I don't like
right
that.
over it.
A metal table just in the middle of the room with a light over it?
And not like an operating table, like a workshop table. Yeah, workshop table. Yeah. With like papers strewn out over anything.
Okay.
It's like the dream desk if you have like a bunch of diagrams or like paperwork to work through where you can just spread it out everywhere and still fit a computer on it. Just like that kind of, like a workshop table. Yes. I mean, I guess it could be used for both, but in this instance, it's being used for like, let me read through these reports and let me type my work and let me sip my cup of tea out here, which there is basically all of that stuff sitting out on this table, paper strewn everywhere, an empty cup of tea. And so Sherlock walks up to this table and he does inspect that cup for a second. And, he's like looking at it. It is empty, but he's kind of sniffing it and he notices like, it doesn't just smell like tea. Something else is there. Whiskey? Bourbon?
I've seen a
Gin?
lot of that flowing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot
But
of
his cup inspection is interrupted when he hears the faint sound of monkeys just kind of
that. Uh-oh.
chirping around behind him.
3 monkeys.
And he looks
perhaps.
up and he sees one just standing there looking at him in a nearby cage.
No.
He's just looking. And he walks up to take a closer look at this little monkey. But before Sherlock can get too close, he's struck from behind and thrown to the side by a large, snarling, growling gorilla with a face that does kind of look like the professor's face, and he is also wearing the same clothes that the professor was wearing.
Well, okay, you answered the question I was about to ask because I was about to say, what would be worse? You enter like a mysterious hidden lab in a dank cellar and you get hit in the head by a gorilla, or a person you didn't know was down there. Which one was worse? And then it turns out the third option I didn't know was an option, which is both.
A gorilla, both / maybe also just a gorilla dressed in a person's clothes with kind of a person's face, kind of nebulously.
Yeah,
that would be the one. That would be the worst one.
It turns out that this is the worst one. Okay.
That's the answer. C.
I didn't even know C was an option.
An option. It is now.
So you told me.
Or D, all of the above. If there's 3 of them in a gang, all working together.
It kind of feels like D, all the above.
C or D. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah. So Sherlock is now down in this secret lab alone, but fighting for his life against
a gorilla.
This mysterious gorilla. Yeah, which odds are not in his favor.
No,
they were never in his favor. Thankfully, though, he is saved when his gorilla-sized best friend robot, Watson, happens upon this room. I think he hears all the commotion from elsewhere in the mansion, and he's like, Holmes, are you okay?
Yeah, and this definitely got Holmes involved.
Yeah, right. Screaming,
like Holmes problem.
Things falling off of tables and like
metal
I hear
clashing.
Things being broken. Exactly. Yeah. Holmes, where are you now, my friend? But yeah, seeing this large robot enter the room does scare the gorilla off, thankfully. And so Watson is like, what in the devil was that? What the like he just sees kind of like the trail end of the gorilla. Yeah. That was a demon. What is happening? Yeah. And Holmes is like, honestly, I still can't quite say. I am not sure what that was.
I have a concussion probably too from whatever this thing was.
Not only before the concussion, I didn't know what it was. And after the concussion, I especially do not know what it was. But Holmes does point towards the monkeys and the cages and like directs Watson in that area. And Watson's like, oh my God, wait, 3 monkeys. That's the same number that went missing from the shelter in New London. And so they're both like, yep, okay. Well, at least that part of the mystery is like not solved yet, but now we see that our 2 mysteries are actually one.
Yes.
So Watson is like, okay, so that means that the professor stole the monkeys, which reasonable to speculate because they are at his house after all.
On his property.
So,
pretty damning.
But Sherlock reminds Watson that things are rarely as clear as they seem on the surface and that they have more work to do. So before they leave this lab, though, Sherlock asks Watson to scan that teacup that was sitting out on the desk.
Oh, yeah.
And Watson does, and he detects trace amounts of tea and simian DNA, aka monkey DNA, that he says is likely from monkey hair, excuse me, in the lab. Just like, I don't know,
flying in,
blowing into the cup. Gross. Or just being nearby, which I mean, I assume that these monkeys are pretty well groomed, but still,
that's true.
I mean,
Anyway.
to be fair, I don't even like seeing like dog or cat hair that of like a dog or cat that I own in my mug or something.
True, but
so
to be fair, I
yeah.
also just give up trying to fight it.
Exactly.
Well,
It's at
the
this
dog
point, it's
hairs
in me. It's
everywhere.
part of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is also part of my DNA.
Yes.
So Watson says that he sees all this stuff in there, and in addition to the monkey hair, even more concerningly, it's not bourbon, it's not whiskey, it's not gin, but he also detects trace amounts of a hypnotic drug of some sort, a sleeping pill, perhaps. Benzos, yet
Benzos?
again, maybe.
To say.
They make their way around this show.
Does he really recognize them? Okay. He's like, I've been on this case already.
We've dealt with these many a time before.
That's why I clock it so quickly.
Yep.
But okay, interesting.
Interesting combination. Yeah.
Here. Okay.
So, especially when you consider too that hypnotic drugs, sleeping pill, that's a downer. And obviously the effect on the professor is quite the opposite of down. So he's being super upped. He's being super upped by whatever is happening to him. Because I think it's safe to assume now that, yes, he is this gorilla beast. Because like I said, looks, face like him. He's wearing the same clothes. It's no secret anymore.
Yeah.
So Watson says that it's probably the professor's guilty conscience about stealing all these monkeys, and maybe like that's why he's taking these pills so that he can rest at night. And then that's also causing him to have these mood swings, why he's a lot more irritable and having unusual behavior because he's like on this crime spree. Exactly. And like, there's a lot going on. Plus all the ick of it all still too.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
let's not forget
his conscience.
Is,
exactly. From that. Exactly. Like, I don't think his conscience feels great about marrying. I want to believe his conscience doesn't feel great about marrying Alice, but there's no evidence to suggest that. Exactly.
Hopefully he knows better.
Yeah, so Sherlock tells Watson not to tell anyone about the stolen monkeys or anything like that, or about anything involving their other investigation, like true good detective work here, like keep things close to the chest because we're trying to figure things out and we don't want to blow our cover.
Yep.
So they leave that lab and they're walking down one of many hallways in this massive house, and they do eventually run into Trevor. And they ask Trevor if he's seen the professor anywhere. And Trevor's like, no, I haven't for a couple of hours now. And honestly, I'm starting to get a little bit worried. It's like making me nervous. And he then tells Watson and Holmes that he believes that the professor may be using himself as a test subject on those new adrenal gland studies that they've been doing. Yeah.
He's definitely doing something.
He's definitely...
Something's going on with him. Yeah.
Something is being taken.
Yes, something more than just the tea is being had and impacting him.
Yeah, and fair to believe that it has to do with like the cortisol and adrenaline levels and all of that based on this.
Yes.
And then Trevor tells him, like, listen, like at first I did agree with Alice that Edith was just trying to scare Alice. Like it was all some hoax, and Edith just doesn't want them to get married. But now that I think more and more about what we've been researching and like the way that the professor has been acting, I am starting to think that like he is his own test subject in these circumstances. And like that raises even more concerns because like obviously Trevor's close to the research. So he knows like this could be bad really for more reasons than we realize. Exactly.
Yes, okay.
Holmes is like, I agree, that could be concerning. And also, you might be right about him taking something for sure that you guys are working on. And also, with the wedding being this afternoon, like in an hour or two.
Imagine starting to drug yourself like 2 weeks before your wedding, being like,
I know, right? Like,
I wonder what this will do.
Why not? It's like,
we're gonna find out.
Schmy it. Let's try this new adrenal gland.
That I've been testing on with monkeys or something too. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. It worked on monkeys, so it's probably good for me to take 3 weeks out from my wedding too, right? Yeah, let's go for it. So, Yeah, they're like, okay, well, we got to find him now because the wedding is this afternoon. And it's obviously very unlike the professor to miss something like this or to at least not explain where he's going to
Yeah.
be 2 hour or a couple of hours before this big event is
He's
supposed to
actually really
happen.
desperately just trying to get out of the marriage that he's like,
Yeah,
I
and
guess
he's
I'll
too
poison
nice to say
myself.
no. Yeah,
She's
that's
crazy. The
easier. That's
only
easier
option I
than
have,
confronting my daughter and her best friend about how weird this is. I'll just poison myself
I guess I'll
instead.
just die. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'll
probably the
just
best
poison
way out
myself
of
and
this.
slowly lose touch with reality and my personhood. I don't know, question mark. Guess that's my only
Yeah.
option.
And that should scare her away pretty easy.
Yeah.
That should do the trick. Um, but so awkwardly as Trevor is explaining all of this to him or to them, and like they're kind of talking through the
Mm.
possibility of the professor being his own test subject, um, they're interrupted by Trevor's robot arm just like kind of starting to act up a little
Oh.
bit, like it just malfunctions in this weird way and start his
Uh-huh.
like hand is like waving back and forth and the wrist is going all
Cut to you,
crazy and
me in the background
everything.
with our WD-40 and wrenches. Like, Trevor,
Trevor, come
Trevor,
here. Just a little.
Trevor.
Literally, which is funny because I do literally say like, but to fix it, he just like takes out a little WD-40 and just drops a little tincture of it.
Oh,
But no, straight up like
oh,
Trevor, no, but Trevor, we could do that for
I could
you.
do
Like you need to
it.
rest your hand, rest that
There's like
other hand.
all
Let
of the
let
bridesmaids like,
us.
oh,
Hmm.
dang
Aw,
it.
we wanted to do
I
it. Yeah.
want to fix him.
I wanted to fix his mechanical hand. But yeah, it's like so the hand is like making all these high pitched mechanical whirring sounds as well, and it's just like
Yeah.
going wild. And so he just puts a little WD-40 on that thing and just kind of like shakes it around a little bit and
Uh-huh.
back to normal, getting the squeaks out basically. And it's after this little episode that Holmes then asks. I'll admit, like he tries, it sounds like he's trying not to offend or upset
Okay.
Trevor. He's like, listen, I know it's probably strange of me to ask, and if you don't mind me asking, now that we've known each other for a few hours here, I just so happen to notice
Only
that
in
you're a
this moment.
cyborg just now when your wrist started making all those mechanical
Malfunctioned.
noises and was like frizzing and everything.
Let's
You're a cyborg. I just noticed
see
that. Like,
what
it's totally not the first
that.
thing I noticed about you. I see you as a human, a handsome, hunky human first, but I just so happened to clock that your arm and half of your face
Are
is made
part of
out
the
of
robot.
metal. How did that
So what's the deal with
happen? Do
that?
tell. Yeah, what happened there? And Trevor is like, yeah, like, no, I don't mind you asking. That's fine. It is a painful memory, but I'm happy to talk about it.
Okay.
And he says that it actually happened just a couple of years ago,
Oh,
just after the professor met Alice, actually, whom Trevor then acknowledges he actually introduced the two.
okay.
And he says that he was doing some work at the estate, at the mansion, when there was a fire in the East Wing.
The fire, perhaps with a capital T.
The
The fire.
the
Okay.
fire in the
I see.
East Wing.
Okay.
Exactly. And he just says, no one knows who started it. But yeah, a fire started, which I think is hilarious on two fronts. Because one, good on the writers. That's an easy way to get out of something just by
Being
saying,
like, I
like,
don't
no
know.
one knows. I don't know. We don't want to talk about it. So we'll just move on from that. But also
So
super
lazy.
concerning. Like, you should probably get down to the bottom of that. Like,
Yeah.
as like Trevor and all of them, like, who the fuck started this fire in this
Also,
very
the
famous
fact that
professor's
it was
home?
a who started it, not a what started it. Like
A
a
what?
what could have
Yeah.
started it. Like a
Also true. He
malfunctioning
jumped
something
straight to
could have started
exactly.
it, but a who? And yeah, the fact that he jumped straight to the
I have a
who.
lot of wild speculation about it at the
Okay,
end.
good.
And AKA we're gonna
We're
rewrite
gonna
the
start
lore
getting.
of this. Yeah, we're gonna
Yes,
yeah.
good.
I can already tell you're on a similar
Okay,
wavelength
yeah,
as
I'm
I
like
am,
a
and you will
whom?
be even more so by the end of this. Yeah.
Okay,
And yeah, that's right, because he does say who, not who or what. He just says no one
who?
knows who started it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Trevor.
And so did
Interesting.
he get stuck in said fire?
So, as the fire spread quickly, Trevor, he was running for safety. But as he was running, kind of away from the direction that the fire was coming from, too, I will add, just saying,
Maybe
whatever, anyways.
he could have
He
been there.
heard it
Well, he works
happens.
there.
Yeah,
He lives
whatever.
there.
He heard a scream coming from the professor's study, and he knew it was
Okay.
Alice. So he turned back around and he ran towards the study, but the door was blocked, and smoke and fire were quickly like filling the air around him and
Oh.
closing in on him. So he moved away the thing that was blocking the door. I think it was like a wooden beam that had fallen down from the
Hmm.
ceiling or whatever. And he just kept kicking the door until he kicked it down. And he threw Alice over his shoulders and carried her out there. And like we see all of this in a flashback, and we only see him carrying out Alice. So I'm not sure if the professor was in that room too.
Uh-huh.
But he does say that he carried Alice and the professor out of the house that day and saved them. He
Okay.
was very badly burned in the process, but he managed to survive to tell the tale. And so I
Damn.
assume that the metal is either just covering his burns or maybe
Yeah.
covering burns on his face, but then maybe he had to get like an amputation or something
Yeah, and
too
this
on
was
the
like the
arm and it got
repair.
replaced. Yeah, and maybe
Okay.
there's other stuff going on under the clothes. I don't know.
Okay.
Basically, it was the fire that caused him to have to become a cyborg or have to have all these
Okay.
repairs and surgeries done.
Okay.
So Trevor tells the detectives that it cost him this fire and surviving it cost him more than anyone will ever know. But
Okay.
going in there, it was all worth it to save Alice.
Not
And
being subtle, my dude. Yeah. Sherlock's like, and the professor?
literally exactly what happened. Sherlock's like, and the professor? And Trevor's like, yeah. Alice and the
And the
professor.
professor, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. You cut me off, Sherlock. I wasn't done.
That's so rude,
Trevor's like
Sherlock.
walking down the hallway, leaving. like, like a
Um,
5 minute pause, 5 second pause after he says
Trevor,
Alice. Like, you cut me off.
you gotta be, could be
A
a little
little
more
more
subtle.
chill than that, my bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
My
be a
dude,
little more
you're,
chill than that.
she's getting married today.
Yeah, today,
You
yeah,
gotta,
ease back. You
not that
got
we
to
support
dial it
this
back a little bit.
marriage, but come
But
on, man.
still, like, come on. Yeah. Ooh. So
Chill.
Watson just praises Trevor, like, you know what, Trevor, good on you. You're a true hero. And good work, man. And Sherlock thanks him for retelling that story, knowing like that must have been really painful for you to relive through. And like, I
Mhm.
appreciate you actually telling us that. Thank you so much, Trevor. Just kind of like pats him on the shoulder. And Trevor leaves to go, I guess, let them continue their investigation while he
Yeah.
goes to be alone somewhere and just cries and wallows in his sad
Sherlock's like,
memories.
well, thanks for sharing that. It does look like you're tearing up, so that's our cue.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave.
This is
Bye. He like pushes him down the hallway, like,
there's an unlocked room
bye.
over there. Pretty soundproof if
Yeah.
you could cry in there.
I'll
Tears
cry
really
there.
ruin my investigation vibe.
Yeah, kind of kills the whole mood of it all. I
If
don't
you
like to
could
be
keep it
sad.
over there, it's really gonna get
Yeah.
in my
Go
way
do that in
otherwise.
a closed off room where no
Yeah.
one else can see you, please, or hear you. So, yeah, he walks off. And Holmes notices that Trevor has left his little bottle of WD-40 on the table behind them.
Uh-huh.
And so Holmes pockets it, saying like, huh, interesting. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll give him this later. You know,
When he's
he
done
probably didn't
crying.
realize that he left it here. What do you say?
When he's done crying. I'm not gonna give it to him
Yeah.
now, and then I might have to
Not
comfort him.
now. Ew, exactly. He's gonna want me to
No.
like sit there and listen to him about
Oh
something. No,
no,
we've
no,
heard enough of his
no.
story for the day.
We'll give it back when he's dried up.
Later. Yeah, later. Maybe after the wedding. I don't know. So he takes this little bottle and he tells Watson to hurry along with him so that they can go meet up with Lestrade and see what all she's figured out since they last split up. And when they meet, Lestrade tells the gents that she suspects at this point that, like, yeah, Edith probably is the one behind all of this. She's like, which is crazy. I'm like, Lestrade,
This
no.
is why you
Also
only
not
have
a
two
girl's girl.
friends.
Also not a girl's girl. Like,
Not a
no,
girl's girl.
Lestrade. No, no,
No,
no. Like,
you side with Edith no
even
matter
even if
what
that
this
seems
weekend.
likely, Exactly,
No.
exactly. Like, no, no, no. They're the last ones on your list. And then when it gets to the point where, oh no, it might actually be either Edith or Alice, then you say, I trusted you. I trusted
Then
you.
you wait
I
until the next
believed
week.
in
I
you.
believed in you. We
Exactly.
all believed in
Yeah,
you.
we all believed in you. Also not a girl's girl, so it turns out.
Not a girl's
Anyways,
girl at
so
all. Mm-mm.
um,
Ladies, please. Bad.
yeah, she's like blaming Edith too at this point, or she's listen. Lestrade sees there's no one to punch. There's no one to arrest here. There's
Yeah, she
no
can't do
action
it.
in this mystery, and she just
So
wants
she's
all of
got
her
to stir the
friends to be back
pot
to
somehow.
normal. Yeah, so she's like, not only am I going to stir the pot, but I'm going to stir the pot in a way that gets us closer to an end by just saying she did it, whatever.
Right. Let's just get this
But
over with. Beth.
the reason why is because, her and Edith have been talking, obviously, not just last night when she first got there, but even now while Holmes and Watson were doing all their investigating. And
Hmm.
she's really getting to see how upset Edith is about all of this because, like, Alice is
Because duh.
trying on the wedding dress. Because, duh. Because fucking duh.
Because obviously Lestrade. Duh. No
But
fucking
like, yeah,
shit,
it's even
Sherlock.
worse now
Literally.
because like literally, like Alice is trying on the wedding dress. They're testing like hors d'oeuvres and the desserts that are getting ready to be plated up for the
No.
evening. And it's all coming a
If
lot
if
closer now.
Lestrade was a girl's girl,
Yeah.
she would have opened a bottle of champagne for Edith the second
Oh,
Edith woke up. She'd have been like, "Girl,
mm-hmm.
look, you have to buck up for today. We can do nothing about it.
Exactly.
Even if you're
She would have
sabotaging stuff."
legitimately been putting bourbon in that tea last. She would have been
Yes.
serving bourbon, not tea last
Yes.
night. Like
Exactly.
she would have been,
She'd be like, I don't
and
care what you're doing. I'm going to help you get through this day no matter what. Even if you're
exactly.
sending a gorilla human after our friend, whatever.
Hmm.
This is just what you need right now, and I'm going to help you power through this
Hmm.
day. Okay?
Lestrade would open up a suitcase of just evidence from New Scotland Yard. What do you want? We've got
Benzos?
everything.
You gonna sleep tonight?
Benzos, Coke,
Yeah.
edibles,
Opium,
leaf.
I got
What do
that
you
from
need? I
Sherlock.
have everything and
Everything.
and a whole crate of champagne, 5 cases of bourbon, of whiskey. Like what?
Yeah,
Like, girl,
name
I
it.
know it sucks. We're gonna get through it, and then as soon as this wedding's over, we're both going scorched earth on both of them. Okay, but for now, we just
Yes.
have to keep shit
One
together.
day.
Okay, like
One
that is a
day.
girl's girl. That's a
Yes.
girl's girl right there.
Beth is not,
So.
though.
No, Beth is not, and unfortunately, Alice isn't either. So poor Edith, man, she's just
Ugh,
crashing out. Which, I
Edith, get new
mean, again,
friends.
understandably,
Yeah.
yes, this is an understandable crash out. But yeah, that's what Lestrade is accusing here, and like that's basically where she's gotten in this investigation, where like she just hears Edith and Alice arguing and like jabbing each other with insults about all of this, and so
Mm.
she's like, "Yeah, Edith definitely is my this." Like she's staging this whole thing just to scare Alice off.
Damn.
She could have planted that hair out there because, like, yeah, I mean, she is in the house and she did cut her dad's hair the other day, and if not, it is easy to just pick the hair up and put it
Lestrade.
out there or whatever. So, like, yeah, I'm starting to think it's her. Holmes then asks Watson to analyze that little bottle of lubricant from Trevor
Mm.
that they pocketed, and he does. And he realizes that it appears to be made out of silicon graphite microbeads that are suspended in a fluid matrix.
Okay.
That doesn't really matter. I just wanted to say it because it goes back to our very first episode where they just say any fucking futuristic word
To
and
make
try to
it
make it
sound
sound
fancy.
cool. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't think that
And it
exists at
means
all. I need to look
nothing.
it up. It means not a single thing.
Okay,
The only
classic.
thing it means is
Mhm.
that, well, it means something, but not in the real world. Here in this
Oh, yeah.
episode, quite
Okay.
fascinatingly, actually. Sherlock then asks Watson to scan a dirty rag. He pulls it out of his pocket and he's like, okay, see this little spot on this rag here? Scan that next.
Okay.
And Watson, he scans it and he's shocked when he finds that that little spot is the same material, the silicon graphite microbead suspended in a fluid
Obviously.
matrix, obviously.
Fact.
And so Watson's like, Sherlock, where'd you get this? Or like, how did this get on your rag? And
Yeah.
Sherlock tells him that he used this rag to wipe up a strange liquid that he saw on the floor of the primate lab / shelter where they were investigating earlier that morning.
Okay, so high-tech WD-40 was in the lab.
It was in
On the
the
floor.
lab, yes. And most
Okay.
people would just be like, okay, yeah, high-tech WD-40 is all over the place in this futuristic city,
Yeah.
probably. But Sherlock's not most people.
None
He
of those
immediately
people.
says, Trevor was there. Trevor obviously spilled his exact same
Okay.
liquid in that lab at some point.
But he also works with the professor all the time. So, like, okay, they're both stealing monkeys. Like,
No,
okay,
I
he's
don't know.
everywhere in this house.
Somebody is stealing monkeys here, and
Someone has
I
stolen monkeys.
gotta
Let's
know.
not lose that
Yeah.
aspect, okay? Monkeys have been stolen.
So Holmes is now suspicious of Trevor, and as are Lestrade and Watson,
Yes,
because they're like,
yes.
okay, that is
At
interesting
least
that it
for the
would be in both
monkeys.
places. Right.
Yeah.
But they must still investigate and gather a bit more evidence before they can obviously press any charges.
Yeah.
And because even if Trevor is the one who broke into the lab and stole these monkeys, it still doesn't explain why Pressbury is turning into a gorilla and like having
Yeah, there's
these
that whole
behavioral changes and all of
poisoning
small
himself
details.
situation.
The
Yeah.
whole of it all, yeah,
Yes.
that's still
Okay.
got to be figured out. So unfortunately for them, though, they don't really have a lot of time to dig deeper into all of this and search for more evidence because, like I said, the wedding is starting like any minute now, basically.
Okay.
And they've got to get out there to begin the festivities. And also, like, last call to find the professor. Where the fuck you at, bro? You're about to
Yeah.
get married in a minute.
Let's
Come
cold
on.
feet because
Yeah. Okay,
pretty extreme
cool.
version. Yeah,
Good.
because okay, bye.
Yeah. Win-win. Let's go. So look, this wedding, even though this is a very well-known man, a very well-known family, very wealthy family, it's actually pretty chill, obviously. Like he's a widow or widower, or no, a
Yeah.
widow. So like he probably doesn't want anything big and flashy, and also
Yeah.
I don't think he
People
wants a
probably
lot
don't
of
want to
people to
go to
come
this
for
wedding.
that. Exactly. Exactly. In reality, they probably invited a lot of people and no
Probably
one wanted to
knew.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were like, hey, we saw you were engaged. Don't bother. Don't waste the
Congrats.
paper.
Yeah. They like kind of send a gift. They send like a bottle of wine, nothing like too crazy, but like, yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
need some wine for that
But like
one.
it's just
So
a
it's like
professional
the wine is
courtesy.
for Edith. It's actually for
Yeah.
Edith.
It's all just presents for her alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, people did not
Yeah.
want to come to this wedding for sure.
No. And that's all right. Because it means that they can have it right there at the estate.
Yeah.
Very small, right on the estate grounds. And it is the only guests are Edith, Trevor, Beth, Holmes, and Watson. So, and remember, Holmes and Watson just got here. So originally it was just going to be
That's
Edith,
why they
Trevor,
said, yeah,
and
you can
Beth.
stay.
Yeah. Please stay. It's gonna make this slightly less embarrassing.
Please.
It looks like we know more people. Look, people who we've never even met before are all traveling into
Not even
town for this
Alice's family
wedding.
showed up for this shit. They were
Nope.
like, no.
Oh, hell no. Absolutely
Yeah,
not. Nope.
yeah.
None
All
of
of his
the
colleagues, all of
professor's
his friends
siblings,
were
if he has
like,
any.
they were like, this is disgusting. You
Yeah,
should not
this
be
is
doing this,
gross.
sir.
Not at all. No.
Mm.
And also,
Mm-mm.
I guess I kind of skimmed over it earlier with the whole like fire memory and everything of how
Yep.
Alice was in his study makes me think that like she either was a student of his or was like researching for him or something too. And so maybe there was that even worse dynamic of he has power over her. And so like
The
very,
dynamic's
very
still there.
inappropriate relationship from both
Yep.
sides coming
Every
here and
direction.
like
Every which
every
way.
direction is in the wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no saving any of this at all.
No, it
No.
just gets worse and worse the further we get through this episode.
Yeah.
So
No one's
yes,
redeemed.
they're all just they're all
No.
gathered around this gazebo in the backyard, very close-knit, tight-knit ceremony, very small crowd. And as Alice is standing up there at the gazebo near, again, they couldn't even get a real person to officiate this
Robot has to do it.
this wedding. I don't know why I was going to say this. I don't know what I was going to say.
Facade.
But yes, this facade. But yeah, so it's a robot officiant, and the rest of the gang, they're just seated in the lawn, watching on, but also very anxiously waiting for the professor to arrive
fucking
because
show up.
again, he's not there, and it's very unlike him to be late or to not show up without a warning, and kind of important for the groom to be at his own wedding. Yeah. So Edith is hoping, she's like whispering to Lestrade next to her, like, good, maybe he's finally come to his senses and he's just bailed out of here. She's like, I would rather him have just like left town altogether and not told any of us than
Yeah.
to actually come up to this altar right now.
Also, I am
But
picturing Edith just drunk now saying that. Like,
he probably
good.
fucking bailed on the joint.
You know what? I hope he did bail on this whole fucking thing.
We don't need him anyways.
That's the first
I
smart
hope
thing he's
he'll,
done.
yeah, you'll never get my money, Alice. Fuck you.
Because it's such a small group. Everyone hears her.
Like the gazebo is like 5 feet in front of them. So it's like obviously Alice hears all of this. Yeah. Lestrade's
She
like,
doesn't give a
shit,
fuck. She's
too much
plastered.
champagne, too much champagne. Yeah.
She doesn't give a fuck who hears her. But she
Lestrade's
thinks
like,
she's
oh,
whispering
shit.
to Beth. That like drunk whisper, yeah.
She thinks she's just thinking to herself. She doesn't even know she's talking.
She's saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. That red car of his that he got, stupid.
Stupid
I hope
car.
he drove away in that red car and kept driving that stupid red car.
Oh,
Why is everyone
man.
staring at me now?
Can they read my mind? What?
Whoa.
Lestrade is counting. There's like 5 empty champagne bottles at her feet. And she's like, oh my God, I've given her no water today.
Or food. She refused to eat those hors d'oeuvres during the tasting. Oh, fuck.
Like, oh shit. We're just gonna carry you right to the bathtub right now.
She like peeks
not
in
even
like the
bathroom,
evidence bag. She's like, oh, I don't even know what's gone from here.
oh, I forgot to write a list of what all I brought. But things are absolutely missing. Yeah. Straight up. Edith does have like drunk girl vibes, kind of. Like
Good for her.
she is whispering, but she's not really whispering. Like obviously Alice hears all of this.
Yeah.
Oh man. And it is actually it is a little sad. Again, we hate all of this so much.
But Alice sad because her fiance is not
yeah.
showing up. Okay.
Alice is standing in a wedding dress by a robot officiant, waiting like at the altar. And like, yeah, I know we hate it. We fucking hate it. I love that maybe this wedding falls through and that's awesome. But we're girls, Grace. So
Yeah, this is
even
still
if we
sad.
hate someone, we don't want to see them just standing at the altar waiting to see
Again,
if
I was like,
their
just
spouse is
drink the
gonna
day away
actually
and
walk
let
down
it go through.
Exactly.
Like, we can't do anything about it.
Right. So Lestrade does tell Edith, like, hey, have some compassion. Like, she is kind
Right
of our
there.
friend / about to be your stepmom, girl. Ew, drink the champagne. It's like she can't help but not stir the pot a little bit. It is too
Beth
juicy.
is so
Come
bored
on,
by
man.
this investigation.
She's like, do you know how long I've been waiting for like some friend drama? All I do is solve crimes all day. And Sherlock is so boring. He doesn't get people. He doesn't gossip.
There's
Okay?
nothing to shit talk about with him.
Yeah.
Beth's just trying to
So-
start a physical fight between the friends so that she can go
So
break
she
it up.
can do something.
Like,
Oh,
she can have a
dude.
physical altercation.
Do you know our Beth Lestrade, Grace, or do you know her? Just you
She
wait,
just wants
man.
to fight.
Can't wait to pull her gun out. Oh my God. So apparently they're waiting there for quite a while
Oh no. Which is
because
that?
we see the sun start setting. And yeah, that is
Okay, that is pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Big X.
And thankfully, though, just as the sun starts setting, the gang, the whole 5 people in the audience, start to
Okay.
see a large shadow approaching them from down the driveway. And it does appear to be the professor who, like I said before, though, is kind of shaped like a large gorilla. Like he's just
Yeah,
big and
so which one
jacked.
is it?
So they're like, oh God, is this the professor or is this a gorilla? And as the shadowy figure moves closer, we see, and yeah, it is Pressbury, all right. It's the professor. But it's again that option C, Grace. It's
All of the
Pressbury in his
above.
gorilla form. Yeah. And he
No.
does seem to be agitated and confused
Oh, yeah.
and angry. And so he lunges towards Alice and he's running towards the gazebo, up towards her. But Lestrade tries to stop him. And finally, she's excited now. She's like, fuck yeah. She pulls out her gun. Yeah, she pulls that gun out. She's like, yes, confrontation.
A gun,
fight.
girl. The gun,
It's a
not
stun
the
gun
one.
or whatever
But
she uses,
still,
a laser
like,
gun,
I
something.
guess
But
she says,
yeah,
I'm just taking
still.
him down now.
This is my one shot, one chance.
Yeah.
The professor, like I said, he is very confused and agitated, but he does kind of still seem calmer. Like he's not beating his chest, he's not growling and
Yeah.
screaming. He just seems like very irritable.
I would be
And he
too.
actually seems a little scared at this point too, especially when the gun comes out. He's like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa. And when the gun comes out, he quietly starts to whimper and he just looks at Alice and he's like,
Kind of like help kind of thing.
exactly. Like he's asking for
Oh,
help or like he
God.
knows something's wrong. And he's like, Alice, like he clearly recognizes her.
Oh,
And he's just like,
no. This
which
is
is like
far
also
worse.
very
That's
sad. I
that's the
know,
worst
which
case
is
scenario.
bad.
He doesn't want to
Right.
be
Like,
monkey.
oh,
Okay.
exactly. So it is like even sadder. And at this point, it does make Lestrade kind of take a step back because she's like, oh, wait a minute. Wait, whoa, you're not attacking. So maybe I
Yeah.
don't have the authority to shoot now. I'm going to get in trouble if I fire this gun. Shit, there's too many witnesses. We
Yeah.
don't know if Trevor is going to be able to keep his mouth
Yeah,
shut
we don't know
for
if
me.
he's
Let me
cool or
back
not.
down on the exactly. So Alice slowly walks up to him, to the professor, the gorilla professor, and she tells Beth to put her gun down. And she's now certain, like, he's not going to hurt me. Again, I'd be like, dude, this is a gorilla man monster.
Bro,
I don't know.
you don't
Like you're
fucking
you're not
know.
that special, but maybe. I don't know. Because we do see though that the professor seems to be in there and he's trying to get out somehow.
Okay.
So she grabs a hold of the professor's hands and like kind of holds his face a little bit too and looks him in the eyes. And
Edith
she's
is
like,
like,
I'm here. She's half partially because she's fucking wasted and is just throwing up. And also because, yeah, gross.
She hates
Ew.
this.
Get a room. And just like vomit on her fucking, just like letting it out. She can't hold it in at all.
This is too much for her.
Literal verbal vomit and just like
actual
vomit. So before the professor can say anything or like make any sudden movements or noises or anything, we see Trevor shoot up out of his seat and yell, no, this can't be happening. Stop. And he runs up to the gazebo.
Who's he yelling at? Them?
Everyone just stops, turns, and looks at him like, who are you talking to?
He's like, sit down. This isn't about you.
This is my wedding, not yours.
I'm the one who's upset here, not you, Trevor. Trevor, get over it.
No one asked if you wanted to say anything. Hold your peace, Trevor. This is my
scene to make, not yours.
But also like other than like the scariness of like a gorilla monster running around and I guess the ick of it all, but like okay, for us, just say we were two random people who like we had car troubles and
we
like,
don't know the context. We don't know the context.
We don't know the context. We're just here and we're just at this wedding, whatever. Like we don't know these people, or maybe we do, but we have no relation to them, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. We're the caterers. We're walking around with food. Like, come on, this would be the most fucking entertaining wedding
I would
ever.
be.
For those who are just listening and not watching on YouTube, Grace just pulled out her phone. Like, I'd be recording this shit out of this. Yeah.
Every
It would
second.
be all over TikTok, and I would have the best clip together video. Oh my God. This will be a 4-part series on TikTok,
Oh my
dude.
God.
Like,
The full
check to see
breakdown
what
on this
happened
shit.
next at the wedding. Like, comment,
You
subscribe. Don't forget to
literally
follow my
won't
page for
believe.
part 2.
You literally won't believe what happens next. That would be
Like,
fucking
I'm not
crazy.
gonna lie. If I, like, as a total outside observer, I would love to be at this wedding. Like,
Oh
this
my
is the
God.
juiciest, gossipiest shit I've ever
Oh,
seen.
from day one,
Um,
a caterer at this wedding. This is the best day of my life.
I would
Although
start a
I will
catering
say
business.
the like someone trying to break out of like being a monkey and like their presumed loved one like very tenderly being sad for them is heartbreaking. But you know what? That's going to get the
Yeah, for
views on
sure.
this TikTok that's about to go
Well,
viral.
right. That's
I'm
how
still
you draw
filming.
people in. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
this is
and this is
key.
all happening now. That's how you drag people in because they're like, "Oh my God, I have to know what happened." Follow for part 2. Come back. Drag it into
Stay
like 8
tuned.
parts. Like make it
Oh,
so long. Yeah,
that's a
people.
whole
Oh God,
series.
whole series. Jeez. So, anyways, yeah, the
Trevor.
tea gets hotter because Trevor is now running up here. He stands in between Alice and the professor, and he's like looking at the professor as an obviously in a gorilla form, and he says
Yeah.
to him, "You were supposed to scare her away like I ordered you to." And then he turns around to Alice and he bears all, telling her, "I love you, Alice. Everything I've done, it was all for you." And Alice is not endeared by this at all, we'll
Okay, I
say.
was like, is
She
Alice
is
in on it or not? Is she in on
frightened.
it or not?
No, she is
Okay.
frightened, actually. She kind of backs away and is like trying to push Trevor away from her again. But Trevor grabbing on and holding on to Alice and obviously like
Oh
distressing
no.
Alice enrages the professor. He sees this
Okay.
and he's like, "Oh, something's wrong with," like, I'm not sure if he understands English when he's in gorilla form,
Yeah,
but
but
he
he
can
sees
sense that
fear.
Alice is
He's an animal.
obviously
Yeah.
exactly. So the girls start fighting. And by that, I mean Trevor and the ape, or the gorilla, I mean. Like they go at it. And it's at this point, other than the whole fire and everything, at this
Uh-huh.
point, I realized, like, oh, this is why they had to make Trevor a cyborg because
Oh,
there's
so he
no
could fight a
chance that a
gorilla.
normal hunk would be able to fight a gorilla. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
He
great
had to have a
point.
metal arm. Yeah, like
Yeah,
he
that's
would
a
just
great
get
point.
ripped to shreds.
Yeah,
So,
so
yeah, there's
fast.
also
Okay,
that.
that makes
Yes.
sense.
So these two are tussling a bit on the gazebo. They're like throwing each other around and like into the beams and such and all of that. And Lestrade is just pointing her gun at both of them,
Like
like, God, I can't get a who do I shoot? Who do
who
I
am I
shoot?
shooting? Who am I
Are they
shooting?
both bad? Is one of them bad? But like she also can't get a clear shot. I think she's trying to shoot the professor because she's like, okay, well, he's the more
He's a
dangerous thing,
gorilla.
technically. Yeah, so let me at least
Yes,
stun him.
stun him, and
But
then we can
she
arrest this
can't
guy. Yeah.
exactly. And as they're fighting, Trevor is telling Presbury, whatever, like, "You're nothing but an animal. She loved me first." But then he also very sadly says, like, "That fire made me a monster, so I made you a monster.
Oh,
You took her from me, you and your money. Now she knows you're a monster and you'll never have her." So this is very premeditated.
well,
At least two
yeah.
years premeditated, at least going back
Yeah.
to the time of that fire. And
Yeah.
yeah, it seems to me like Trevor needs help. Um,
I,
and a long time behind
there's
person set.
really no good people in this gang.
No, nope, they're all bad.
I mean,
So
maybe
I mean, I guess
Edith.
Edith is good, but like she's kind of a bitch, not gonna lie, during this episode. Again, we're girls. So like listen, that's fine.
She's
Have
going
your champagne.
through
She's good.
it.
Exactly. I understand. But they obviously paint her as a very not pleasant woman in
Yeah,
this
but she's going through it. I support
episode
Edith
because they
fully.
also
But
want you to
everyone
kind of think
else,
that she might be the
yeah, throwing
the
things
culprit here.
and
Yeah,
sabotage.
yeah.
But yeah, everyone else
So, but yeah, no,
really,
there's no
they
winners.
all are bad.
Yeah, they
All
all
bad.
suck. They
Yeah,
all, yeah.
Alice,
This is
Professor,
this is the
Trevor.
worst like throuple I've ever. I was gonna say foursome
Yeah,
too, but that's not right.
because here's the
Especially
thing.
because yeah.
you can feel bad for Alice, but also, what the fuck are you doing, Alice, with this whole scenario?
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah,
yeah, this
exactly.
sucks, but like also,
What are you doing?
what again, I'm
Hmm.
not saying it's your fault that this crazed man is kind of stalking you and then turned your fiance into a gorilla plot, but
Yeah,
like also, girl, what were you doing there in the first place trying to date him?
exactly.
And
Exactly. And
we
like,
obviously know the professor's in the wrong too. That's without saying.
no,
And
yeah,
Trevor's
yeah,
in the
yeah,
wrong without saying.
exactly. Him,
The
exactly,
men obviously are in the
exactly.
wrong without
The men
saying
are
here.
obviously wrong, but Alice is obviously also in the wrong because, like, yeah, what the
Yes.
hell are you doing? This is your best friend's dad, who you may have also
Yeah.
been a student of.
Yes,
And
she
also,
never
like,
in the first place.
listen, I know you can't like force love on anyone, but like Trevor was right there
Yeah.
before you met the professor, and this was before he was a
He was
cyborg. This
cyborg.
was this was basically Chris Evans standing in front of
Yeah.
you,
And you went for Santa?
like liking you, and you went for Santa.
Don't
Well,
you
because
just
Santa's rich, but also like Trevor's doing fine. He's the assistant to
yeah.
Santa.
He's
He's the
probably in that
assistant to a
fucking
very
room.
wealthy person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's like almost like a son to the professor, it would
Yes.
seem. So like I'm sure he gets paid well, he's treated well, he gets to hang out at this massive estate
Yeah.
too.
So
He
like
wears nice
again,
clothes.
I'm not
Got a little fucking
saying
robot arm.
yeah.
He's gotta have good service.
Yes, I'm not
Good things in life.
blaming Alice on this. I'm not victim
No,
blaming
no,
her,
no.
but I am
No.
saying that she's also not a good person.
No, no. And like she's a pretty woman for like cartoon standards. Like she could have had anyone. She could have
Yeah.
had anyone.
Yeah.
Did
So
not have to
like,
be her best friend's father who's like
yes,
30
exactly.
years
This
older
is why
than
she's a bad
her.
person. It's
At
the
the end of
best
the
friend's
day,
father of it all.
exactly. Exactly. And like she could have if it is that she's a gold digger, honey,
Get
find a
other.
man who's not your best friend's father who's
Yes,
wealthy.
come on.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah. And then again, obviously, of
The
course,
ick.
Professor and Trevor are also bad people
Yes,
from
is yeah,
from
like
the
also
jump.
Professor, if you want a younger wife, find someone who's not your daughter's
Your
best
daughter's
friend.
best
How about
friend.
fucking
You
that
fucking
too?
creep.
Gross. Or your
Yeah.
student or your employee's very close friend either, like
Yes.
assuming that she was just friends with Trevor when they
Yes.
met or something. Like,
Every
nah,
single thing was wrong from the
don't
jump by
eat where you
him.
shit, okay?
Yeah,
Don't
sir.
do it. Just ugh.
Just
Anyways.
buy another red car. Okay. Just get another
Yeah,
red car for your little
exactly. Go to the gym
midlife
a little
fucking
bit longer.
crisis.
Yeah, you know. So
Gross.
yeah, everyone's fighting. Beth is trying to figure out who to shoot. But unfortunately, this fight between the men did quite a number on the gazebo. And so it is
Mm.
starting to kind of like collapse on itself. And right when Beth gets a target on the professor, because like a falling beam knocks down Trevor, so the professor's just standing over him now.
Uh-huh.
Beth gets a shot on him, or like she gets a target on him, I should
Hmm.
say. But Alice jumps in front of him to protect him, telling her, like, no, don't shoot him, Beth. You don't like, he's not trying to hurt me.
Mm.
And like I said, though, the gazebo's kind of falling down at this
Oh
point.
no.
Grace, girl, this is where you
No.
end part like 4 or 5 of the wedding drama TikTok series. Grace, the gazebo collapses on Alice.
No. I know I just said she's a shitty friend, but no. She doesn't
I
deserve that.
know,
She's just a
I
bad
know.
friend.
I was like, no, 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 don't kill
No,
Alice.
she's just a bad
Oh
friend, that's
no. I
all.
have to tell you, Grace, I literally like was sitting like this for like 2 minutes watching this on this episode. I was like, oh,
No.
did
No.
they just collapse the gazebo on
She's
Alice?
just a bad friend. That doesn't mean she needs to get a gazebo collapsed on her.
Doesn't mean she needs a gazebo to fall on her face.
No. No, that's not what
Yeah,
I
but it
meant at
does.
all.
It's bad. Like the entire structure, just like beam by beam,
No, she
just
doesn't.
collapses on her
No.
while she's trying to protect the professor. And Priestbury is frantic now, again, still in gorilla form.
Yeah.
He's like throwing all the beams and the rubble to the side to try to dig to the bottom of this to find her and to save Alice. And Lestrade is like still pointing her gun at the professor as he's doing this, and Sherlock just walks up and like pushes the
Puts it
gun down,
down.
like,
Not the time, girl.
not now, not
No.
now, not now.
No.
But he does also tell Lestrade, like, the professor's not the guy that we want to arrest here. Just wait, just
Yeah.
watch. Thank goodness Priestbury does get to the bottom of the rubble, and Alice is generally okay. Like,
Okay.
She's a little faint. She maybe lost consciousness for a bit there. She probably has a few cuts and bruises or
Yeah.
whatever, but otherwise, like, she is breathing, she is awake, and she is speaking. Like, she is able to say, like, oh, thank you, you saved me, or whatever. And like,
Okay.
honey, what has Trevor done to you? Like, what's happened? And the professor picks her up and holds her, and they just hug for a second as she kind of comes to. And as the two hug, the others
Edith is
approach
like,
them.
is this the mushrooms that I took from Beth's bag? Why is my dad a monkey?
What if actually, why is he a monkey? She's just now catching up. Oh my God. But
She's just
also,
like
like, as
tripping bald.
as the as the gazebo's collapsing, she's like like cheering, like,
She's like,
yeah,
karma.
let's fucking go.
And then
But
like
like
the
also
edibles kick in. She's like,
she
whoa.
she's the only one still like sitting in the chairs though. Like everyone else is like standing by the
She's still
gazebo
in
and
her
she's just like
chair.
sprawled out on the chair. She's like, yeah.
This is the best funeral I've ever been to.
I always hated that gazebo.
Just fall
Finally,
out
it's
of her mind.
gone. Yeah, just she does not know where she is right now. She thinks
No.
she's floating, man. So as Alice and the gorilla-shaped professor are still just hugging as they're sitting in all this gazebo rubble, the rest of them walk up and notice, though, that the drugs are starting to wear off from the
Mm,
professor and that he is quickly changing back into his normal human form. And when he does, he seems very confused and lost. He's just like, I
mm.
say, Alice, what are we doing sitting on the ground out
Oh
here?
no.
Am I am I late for our wedding? Don't we have to get married soon?
Oh
And
no,
then he
he's
just
looking
like
up at
passes out, just like
that.
conks out
Oh
right there.
God. Okay.
You
This is
know,
one hell of a
yikes.
drug.
But still stable, just tired, it would
Yeah.
appear. Like he's breathing
He's
and
been
all
through
of
it.
that.
Yeah.
So later that evening, the Preesburys, like he's awake again. And so now the whole family, Jacob, Alice, and Edith, are all at dinner, enjoying the meal, and they've invited Beth, Sherlock, and Watson to join them. And
Mhm.
we get a recap of what the hell all just happened
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Good.
Notice I did not say Trevor is with them,
Oh
right?
yeah. Clock that.
So he's gone.
He's walked right
It
up, I hope.
was it was indeed the professor who Alice saw outside of her window the night before.
Mm,
But the professor had no idea what he was doing and has no
right.
recollection of it being him outside of the wedding or outside of the
The
window.
window.
So this was Trevor's hope and plan all along, that the professor would have no recollection of anything. What happened was Trevor stumbled onto the transformation process during all of their research into the adrenal gland,
Hmm.
basically, that doing certain things to it or adding certain things to your gland or whatever could transform you into something else. And so they hoped that by using whatever compound they were researching on the professor, it would obviously make the professor a lot more agitated and
Yeah.
irritable, and that behavior would drive Alice away from him, out of Presbury's arms and right into Trevor's.
That's not how it's gonna work, my
Now,
man.
he's that fire did a number to. I mean, there is metal covering half of his face now, so I have to assume that some things maybe are not, at least emotionally, the same as they were before the fire. So I don't
Yes.
think he's thinking clearly all the
Hmm.
time, unfortunately. So Trevor anticipated that any suspicion on, someone poisoning or like giving the professor some drug, any suspicion would fall upon Edith, since she was so vocal about her protesting the wedding and
Yeah.
all of that and like being against their relationship. So Alice apologizes to Edith for suspecting her in the first place.
That's the only
And
thing.
Edith,
You're gonna apologize for?
We'll get it. Yeah, actually, yeah. Low key, that is.
Good.
And Edith apologizes for the same reason because Edith also suspected that Alice was somehow doing all of this just to get to the inheritance money, remember?
Yeah.
So seeing how, oh, and I guess also this like kind of buries the hatchet and calms the vibes between the two for now. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, like we'll sit by each other as you eat dinner as
Yeah.
my soon-to-be stepmother and my dad's
Stepmom.
fiance still. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I will note, like, that is all that Alice apologizes for. At one point, she does say, like, while they're fighting about things earlier in the episode, she does say, like, like, how dare you think that all your dad is good for is money? Like, I obviously don't just love him for that. What did she say? Like, how shallow are you to believe that, like, he doesn't have the capacity to actually love or something like that, which again, ew, gross, fucking
Also,
ick, which is
girl,
why
that's
I
not
like
what I'm
didn't want to talk
saying.
about it before. That's not what I'm saying. Like, sure, I'm
Yeah.
sure he's a, and I'm not even going to say that. Never mind. Anyways, so basically, like Edith has convinced Alice enough that she does actually care and for her father and loves her
Yeah.
father, which also partially this is from like the way that she reacted to him being a gorilla and how like
Uh-huh.
he was very happy that she stuck with him through all of this. Like, he doesn't remember any of this, but as Sherlock
Yeah.
is retelling and recounting everything that's happened, and Edith and Alice are telling him stories, he's like, are you serious? That's how I was acting? Like,
Yeah.
Alice, thank you so much for staying by my side. And Alice is like, through sickness and health, dear. That's what we're promising. And then Edith is
It's
like,
still
okay,
ick.
I get it. I know it's still
No, don't
so fucking gross and wrong.
writers, you could have
But
just
Edith
not
is
picked her best friend. It could
that's
have
what I'm
just been a
saying.
lady
Like it
she
could have been
doesn't like.
it could have been like I don't know, Edith could have been like her cousin instead, or just like
There's
I
just
don't know,
anything. You
just
could have picked
anything. They didn't have
1,000
to be
other things.
friends.
You could have had it be
Yeah.
someone
I
his
don't
age and Edith just didn't like her.
yeah,
Like,
right.
it didn't
Like they
have
didn't
to
even
be her
have
best
to, I don't
friend.
know. Yeah,
It was a
something
weird choice.
there's so
Weird,
many yeah so many
weird
things, and we'll
choice.
we'll get to why they went there in a bit, because as per usual we'll run through what
It's
the
the
actual
original
short
story.
story is
Yeah,
about. Yeah, but
figured.
anyways, so yeah, Holmes runs through all the clues that they gathered to come to the conclusion that Trevor was the real villain this week.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
first clue was the mechanical wrist. When it kind of went haywire when they were talking to Trevor, he noticed that the wrist made a similar noise to the one that Watson's wrist made when they
That's
were
right.
at the monkey lab earlier. And that same noise is what caused the monkeys to like just panic and freak out, which he
Yeah,
was like, so they must be familiar with that
the
noise, but not
sound.
in a positive way.
Yeah,
Exactly. Then he says that matching the lubricant found in the lab with Trevor's lubricant basically confirmed that association and sealed the case, at least like the portion about the monkeys being stolen.
uh-huh.
And then Holmes says that Trevor then used the monkey's DNA, which he snuck into the professor's tea, along with downers of some sort,
Mm,
apparently. And he used that DNA to basically transform the professor into the animalistic, like raging gorilla beast that he turned into over the past few weeks. And the additional downers in there made the professor's memory foggy enough so that he would have no clue what was going on when he woke up. Like, whoa, I
yes.
just have the
Okay.
craziest hangover. Where was I? Like,
Yeah.
never being able to remember what he was
Remember.
doing when he was in gorilla shape, basically.
Hmm.
And so the professor, like I said before, he hears all of this and he's like, Alice, oh my God, you must really love me. Like, thank you so much. And then they ask Lestrade what will happen to Trevor next, basically. Like
Mm,
she did arrest him basically right after the gazebo collapse.
yeah.
And now he's in prison basically, or on his way, at least there.
Hmm.
And interestingly though, they're like, listen, Trevor's obviously not acting like himself. Like the last thing we want is to see him go to
So
prison.
they're not
So
pressing
can we
charges?
no, they're not pressing charges. They're just like, can we just want him to be rehabilitated. We want to help him. Which is like,
Mm,
yeah, good for them, I guess, but come on. Like, okay, and I know, like that's the point of prison is
yeah.
rehabilitation. And like, yes, if someone is actually if they're in a state mentally where like, yes, they can be rehabilitated and that is the reason why they
Yeah.
caused the crime, absolutely 100%
Yeah, we want
counsel them,
this.
get them better. It's a health issue. It's not a penal issue, like, or not a
Yeah.
punitive issue. Like, they really need care. In this case, though, this has been a plan 2 years in the
Yeah, I was gonna say,
making.
also, Alice, you're
Okay.
not
And
safe.
Trevor knows, yeah, Alice is not safe. If this man is
He's
out
out.
free, you're not safe because he clearly is still obsessed with you. He didn't just say, like, you're right, Alice. I do see that you need to be with the professor and
Yeah,
I'll leave
no.
you
He was
alone.
like, let
Like,
me
no,
do
he
this
was angry when
insane
he was
thing.
arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
He
she's not
obviously
safe.
knew it was wrong because he was trying to hide about it and be
Yeah.
sneaky about it. So he knew that there would be consequences for his actions. So, like,
Yeah.
not really a good insanity plea. Like, no,
No. Alice, you're not
yeah,
safe if
I
he's out and
think
about.
that he may have a lot more to do with this than you're giving him credit for.
Yeah.
And so, just really quickly, before we do wild speculation about all of that, and
Yeah.
also before we talk about the actual short story
Yo,
it's based
yes.
on, Lestrade is just like, don't worry, we'll make sure he undergoes evaluation and that he gets the treatments and the counseling
Okay.
that he needs to recover from everything. And, he'll be all right. We will take care of your friend. But in the meantime, let's get you crazy kids married, right? We got a wedding to do, right? And then that's the end of the episode.
Edith
So
just
it's
takes the
implied that they
bottle
still
of
get married.
champagne.
Edith is like pouring a glass of champagne.
Just, yeah, shooting it.
Taking shots of full freaking champagne flutes. Um, so yeah,
Wow.
very, very quick,
That was
wild
fucking
speculation.
crazy.
Going back to the
Yes.
fire
Fire.
here. I think because when I watched this episode a couple of times, because one, I really actually like this episode, even with
Yes.
all the ick of it all, the mystery is interesting. But listen, I said it before. Trevor was running away
Away.
from where the
Mm.
fire came from. So my first thought was, did Trevor actually start this fire when he found out that the professor might like Alice or something? Or
Yeah.
I don't know. But I actually now think, based on like all that stuff that Trevor was saying when they were fighting, like that fire made me a monster, so now I made you a monster. That
Hmm.
almost sounded like vindictive, almost like did the
Revenge.
professor start the fire?
Why would he
Because
have started the
maybe right after
fire?
Trevor introduced Alice to him, maybe they were still students or they were working for him, and Trevor saw the professor doing something with Alice that he shouldn't have been
Yeah.
doing, and he maybe threatened the professor because Trevor liked Alice, and so the professor was like, you know what? Stay right here, Trevor. I'm gonna go
I'll
get
take care
something
of
and we'll talk about
him.
this. And then he actually just set the fucking room on fire because it's his own house. He can get
Yeah.
insurance for it. He doesn't care if his
Yeah.
house gets on fire. He's rich as shit. And so then Trevor had to escape the fire, but he heard
Yeah.
Alice. He didn't know
So he
Alice was
went
in
back
the
to go
study when
save
it happened.
her.
Went to go save Alice while the professor actually escaped. But then when the professor saw that both of them escaped and that he couldn't use that as
Yeah, he
like
was
an
like,
excuse or
fuck.
whatever, he was like, fuck, okay, like here, maybe they like passed
Yeah.
out and like had, foggy memory from the chemicals and the fire, the
Yeah, the
fumes and
smoke.
everything. He did get hit by, a beam or something like that. And so then the professor like kind of rewrote the story when Trevor woke up after his surgery. Like, you saved me, boy. You saved
Yeah.
me. Do you,
You
and
saved us
Alice, thank you so
all.
much. And like his memory's foggy
So
from
he
the
doesn't really
surgery and the
remember.
robotics. And then over time he
Yeah.
did remember. And so now I'm like, oh, I don't know. This could be a lot darker than we think because that seems like a lot for Trevor to do and to like say during
Yeah.
that fight on the gazebo and to go through turning his boss into a gorilla. Like, I think it's more than just
Yeah.
like, hey, you stole my girl who is actually my age and not your
And
age. And like,
normal.
yeah, it
Yeah.
almost sounds like he also tried to kill this dude at some point, and
Yeah,
Trevor
I
was
think
taking it
it.
back out on him. At least that's the lore I'm gonna believe in.
I also support that lore.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
also a little,
sadly.
yeah, yeah, I think the men were really bad. I think the men were really bad
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
one. And
yeah, yeah, the
I
men are
kind of
bad.
support
The men
that
are
lore
bad.
that,
Hmm.
yeah, the
It goes
professor started
deeper
it
than just a
to,
throuple.
yeah, to take him out. And then he was like taking long-term revenge. And
Yeah.
yeah, both those men are
Professor thought he was in the clear. Yeah.
bad
Yeah. Both men are bad.
people.
Alice sucks.
Again,
Edith
Alice is just
is
a
a
bad friend.
fun ass drunk, but she's also she kind of
Edith,
sucks too, but she's
Edith
fun
could
when
have
she's
just said
drunk.
no to going to the wedding, you know?
Yeah, also true.
Edith didn't have to go there
I
to
think
shit talk. She could have said
she
no.
wanted to protect her inheritance, and
Yeah.
she wanted to go so that Lestrade could go and investigate, so that she made sure that her money
Yeah.
wasn't at issue at least. And that,
Yeah.
I mean, like, if she also could stop her dad from marrying her ex-best friend,
Then
that would be
plus.
nice. But she definitely also wants her own inheritance to not be in the fray and caught up in all of
Yeah.
this. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, though,
Um, mhm.
the real winners of this whole scenario, the
The
catering staff who
caterers.
saw it all.
Dude, because also, like, they had to do something with that food. So
Yeah,
even though
oh,
it was
they're
only for a
fucking,
few people, like, they had a full feast plan.
as they see all this
They're
shit
like
going
stuffing
down.
their pockets. They're
Yeah.
filling bags up with that shit. Like, well, guess no one else is coming. Still filming, like, with their phones.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Munching on the side.
Like, this is the best gig we've ever gotten.
We're coming back for that actual wedding for
Yeah.
sure.
Basically like a British countryside vacation.
Yes. Oh my
Like,
God. With the
you had to
best
work for a few
live
hours,
reality
but
TV
like, yeah, the
show.
drama, it was like
Ugh,
better than going to see a freaking opera or a
I
play.
know.
This was
They're on it.
no
Blown away.
actors
Wow.
needed.
Great job.
So
Tell me the
thank
original
you.
story,
Thank you.
because
So
what?
in the original story, yes, which the original story is called The Adventure of the Creeping Man, which is also the name of this episode. It's season 2, episode 6. Yep.
Cool.
Season 2, episode 6. And in the short story, a man named Trevor Bennett, who is the secretary for a esteemed and well-known and wealthy professor named Professor Jacob Pressberry, same name. And Trevor also happens to be the fiance of Professor Pressberry's daughter, Edith, in this version.
Okay.
Trevor contacts Holmes and Watson for their help in investigating the bizarre animalistic behavior of the professor over the past few weeks, who is, like I said, a respected professor of, I think, physiology. He's like a doctor or something like that in the book. And so the professor had been reportedly exhibiting strange ape-like behavior. He, late at night, has been seen crawling around the estate on all fours.
Nope.
Nope, big nope, a lot of nopes. And he has been developing a very violent aversion to his own dog. Like barking at not literally barking at the dog, but like if the dog would approach him, he'd like yell at it and like push it away, snapping at him. Yeah. And the dog, like, it's not super important, but dogs, so you understand, like, to paint a picture here, it's an Irish wolfhound.
Well, big dog.
So not a dog you want to like fuck with for real. Like, I mean, yeah, they're kind of lazy, but they're big. So if they want to hurt you, they absolutely could hurt you. So the behavior of the professor has become so bizarre that one night, even Roy, the Irish wolfhound, that's its name in the book, Roy, which I want to get a dog named Roy now. It's such a good dog name.
That's a good dog name.
But eventually, the behavior was so intense that Roy did actually attack the professor. And so all of this leaves the daughter, Edith, fearing for her life, because she's like, is he going to like attack me next, my dad? And like, is he going to send the dog after me? Like, this is strange. But interestingly enough, amidst all of this odd behavior, the professor, I wish the president was only 61 years old. The professor, who is 61 years old, has just returned from a long trip in Europe, and he has also actually recently become engaged. And his fiance is indeed a much, much younger woman. I didn't see her age in the recaps that I read, and I don't think the woman is friends with Edith in this version at all, just another young woman named Alice Morphy. All of the professor's odd behavior seems to have begun around the same time as their engagement. Eventually, Holmes and Watson learn that the cause of the professor's odd and disturbing behavior is caused by a mysterious drug that the professor has been taking. And basically, to sum it all up, the professor first tried this drug while he was traveling abroad in Europe. He made a stop in Prague. And eventually, after trying the drug there, he got addicted while he was in Prague. So it happened pretty quickly, actually. When he returned to London, he found a supplier for that same drug who hooked him up with it, or with at least a similar concoction. And what was this drug, you might ask? Basically, it's like like a vitality sort of thing, if you
Oh
will.
no.
Basically, it's like something to keep him energized as
Oh
he's consummating this
no.
marriage with a much younger
Oh
woman,
God.
basically.
Okay.
Like he's
Okay.
like, I'm too old. I need something to like lift me up and juice me up a bit and like
Mm-hmm.
lift me up,
Lift
probably
him up.
literally. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the drug's effects are explained as a consequence of being obtained, like part of the concoction was obtained from langurs, which are a type of monkey
Yeah.
commonly found in India. And basically, it was like a well-known, like a notorious crank, like medical crank or quack, who was
Okay.
the one like making these drug concoctions for him. Like, oh yeah,
Mm.
you want to get it up in
Sure.
30 seconds or less? Like, here, take this.
Yeah, I have this
It's made out of
monkey
monkey
drug.
DNA, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phew, okay.
Yeah, and that's basically the premise of that. So like all the same characters. I think we do we
Wow.
find out that Trevor is secretly in love with Alice in that too? I don't think so.
Because
I
she's
don't
just some
think he
random
is in the short
girl.
story. Yeah, just a random young woman who like so the
That's
reason it's
crazy.
important that he's dating a young woman in the story is just because he basically needs
The
Viagra.
vitality
Like, and
drug.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. And
That's
yeah,
fucking
so
crazy.
it is crazy. It's
Both
interesting. And it
versions
also,
are crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Whew.
The old stories are interesting. And it also kind of, at least like the synopsis I read online, kind of also just like trails off like your last episode did,
Yeah.
where it's just like they
And
figure
then
out what
what?
the drug is. They don't arrest the doctor or anything like that. Sherlock is just like, huh, interesting that these drugs are now a part of our society. All
Damn.
right, let's go.
Okay, well, if they're gonna buy it, they're the dumb ones.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No crime was actually committed. But we
Wow.
found out what's going on with your pops or with your
Whew,
boss, I guess,
that's
whomever. Yep.
crazy. Okay.
Yeah. And so low key, I'm like, I, I mean, again, the ick of it all sucks. I wish they would have made the relationship between
Yes.
Alice
And Edith.
and Edith different. Like, I wish they
Yes.
hadn't been friends and hadn't known
Yeah, it was
each other at any point in
unnecessary.
life, like in the book.
Yeah.
But other than that, I kind of like the plot of the
Yeah, I
cartoon
like
version
the
a little bit better. There's more
what
going
the
on.
crime is and like why it's
Yeah.
being committed kind of
Hmm.
another one like with
The
Trevor
like
and stuff.
fire and the love
Yeah.
triangle is interesting too. Like they could keep that in there. It literally is just like, don't make her
Your best
Edith's
friends.
best friend.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that they
It was
didn't need to
unnecessary
do.
and distracted
'Cause-
me so much of being like, Alice,
yeah,
that's why I thought
right.
Alice was a bad person. Like
Exactly.
if she wasn't her best friend and did all
Like
this, then it would have been like, okay,
still a little
whatever.
icky, but way less icky.
Yes.
Way less icky.
Way less.
Still like
I'd be like, but also like whatever, get your bag, girl.
do
But
your
a
thing.
best friend?
Exactly. That's the thing that just makes it so like,
Yeah.
yuck, do not, big red flag, don't do
Yeah,
this
bad
ever.
friend
That's so
move.
messed up for
Bad friend
the
move.
professor and for Alice. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Makes
because
it
it could
worse.
have been that Edith and Lestrade were still really good friends.
Yeah.
And so Edith would still call her out to investigate
Yes, like,
something,
come
knowing
on,
that
this
her
is
good friend from
weird.
college is a investigator now, a
Yeah.
really
Or
good
just to
police
be like,
officer who's
help me
also
get
going to
through
be there.
this. I don't
Hey,
like how you
help me.
stepmom.
You're my plus
Help me
one to
with
the
this.
wedding. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like they did not all need to know each other. That was not at all integral
Did
to the
not help
plot.
the plot.
So
Yes.
sorry that I made us sit through like an hour and a half
Bad.
almost of the ick just for it really to not
Unnecessary.
need it to have been ick in the first
No.
place. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But I
Wow,
figured,
but great
fuck
job.
it. That's our last episode. Thank you. Thank
Great
you.
work.
Our
What
last
a
episode, I figured
well
let's get it all out. Let's get it
Let's
all
get it
out
all out. Let's be as crazy as possible. And we were.
Get
It
it
was.
all out.
Get
Get it
out
right.
of there. It's so crazy.
Champagne.
Where'd the
End
gazebo
this
go?
now. Dad, didn't we have a gazebo there
Where's
yesterday?
the gazebo go?
Oh.
Is there a monkey
Excuse
in the
me. I gotta
gazebo?
go. Somebody threw up in the bathtub last night, and it wasn't me.
And no,
Someone
not
threw
me.
up on me last night, and it wasn't
It
me.
wasn't me though. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
justice for Edith. She's my new
Justice for
favorite,
Edith.
actually. Only in our fictional world of
Yeah.
the fictional show where she's wasted at her own dad and best
Justice
friend's
for her. We
wedding.
love her.
So,
Wow. Yes.
great show. I fucking love this arc. This was so much fun.
Yes,
I
the
was
show was
nervous
wild
in the
and
beginning,
unexpected.
like, wow, where is this going? But
I think our
now,
last couple episodes really.
We hit it. I think we found the good ones, and good, respects paid to the old school stories, the original stories, and some of the old shows and movies. I noticed they do some things that were in the movies and shows in these episodes too. I'm like, I can see they like pulled from a lot of Sherlock Holmes IP inspo to put the show together, and they crushed it. I fucking love this show.
It was great.
One of these days I'll watch more episodes. Obviously, like Grace said, we absolutely will be covering some of the episodes during the holiday arcs. I've already written some of mine down on a list, which is totally lame. You don't need to do that too, Grace. Don't keep lists. Huh? Lists suck. Yeah.
Lists suck. Huh?
It's been huh? What lens? Just drooling. Just imagine like Rick from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, just the
constant like drool and vomit in the corner of your mouth. But this has been great. Thank you for those who've either discovered this podcast by us covering this show because you also had fever dreams about it. We hope you stick around and you enjoy the next show that we cover, which I guarantee many others also had fever dreams about.
Yes.
But until we start covering that show next week, Grace, who should everyone tell about this podcast?
You gotta tell a drunk person at a wedding.
There are many.
Take your pick. You know what? Be like, I'll just subscribe you to it on your phone for you. You're not going to remember this conversation. Just subscribe for them
for
on
you
their
when
phones.
you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Tell a drunk friend
especially if the wedding's on a Friday night and then they wake up and Saturday Morning Mysteries is just dropped at like 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday.
Yeah. We're right there for you. We're there for you, girly.
Yeah, we're there for you to fight through your hangover.
Yes. So there's a lot to listen to as you nurse that hangover.
Yeah, good luck. We might make it worse. Sorry.
And who should they tell after they tell a drunk guest at a wedding?
After that, you should tell your best friend from college. I was going to say bride or groom or something like that, but no. Tell your best friend from college and hope and pray that they are not in a situationship with one of your parents. Oh, good Lord. Oh, and
if they are, send them this episode for sure.
Right
so
now,
they can get our reaction
tell them
about
that you are no longer their best friend. Oh, goodness gracious.
So leave them with this message so they can hear from an outside third source that's gross.
Yeah. Basically, this has been an intervention now. I'm glad that you've come to this part of the episode, old college best friend who has just recommended this.
Now listen.
We are now telling you to end that situationship.
Shut it down.
With your old best friend's parent, if such a thing is happening.
That's fucked up.
Good God.
Not cool. But subscribe, like, and review. Raise 5 stars.
Like, come, share, subscribe, and come back for our next show next week.
Once you're single, come back.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Let us know. Anyways, so until then, until that fortunate breakup. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.